Welcome back, everybody. It's Chris Bucket alongside of Vast and ZP. We've traded out 2 new faces and a whole new region. We're going to North America with the same amount of money on the line, $1,000 up for grabs, and it's not going. Well, it might go to one of these teams. Envy or 100 Thieves. They have to get through Shroud X at the end of the night. Vast, let's start here because we've got some fresh faces playing for Envy, but 100 Thieves, they were a household name and a Rivals Fight Night champion for a while.
I mean, they're still going to be a household name. We're not going anywhere. Honestly, we're going to be seeing a lot of them, I'm sure, in the future and as we move forward. But there has been some changes. Not for this team as much, obviously, but obviously we do have a kind of a new face with Billion coming on here, but everyone else is pretty much the same. I don't remember Billion unless they've a name change here. ZP back me up here, but I believe this is a
they were a substitute, and the substitute they actually may have changed their sub between here and now, but they weren't planning on playing Billion. Is where we're at.
Yeah.
Top tier kid is going to be my player to watch. TTK, always exciting on that. Vanguard, Harvey, and SJP are the backline strategists. ZP, who is going to have to carry the weight because Terra always seems to steal our MVP award.
I mean, look, I think you look at 100 Thieves, it is a complete team, and I mean, we've kind of gone through our different eras where it's like, it's all about the Vinny Groot, but oftentimes you do go into just focusing on the duelists. We talk about 100 Thieves, both Delina in, hella metas, or Terra just in general, one of the most versatile duelist players in Marvel Rivals. And look, I mean, it's a hero shooter. People tend to just, it's like, duelist, do flashy thing, and everyone's just like, but I mean, it's true when it comes to 100 Thieves. These are the players that generally take your attention when 100 Thieves is doing really well.
Absolutely. That is a look at 100 Thieves. On the other side of this matchup, we have the blue team, managed by the great Tasmo, the #1 Scotsman to ever grace a hero shooter. We have Cal, Speedily, and K, Window, Kaluge, Month, and Nero. I know we're going to see Kaluge. I know we're going to see Window, but which 2 duelists will be in play tonight, ZP?
I mean, look, when you're talking about duelists, you gotta look at Cal, you gotta look at Speedily. Cal, of course, probably just one of the most impressive duelists we have ever seen in Marvel Rivals, where even earlier iterations of the Envy roster that may not have been as strong in the other roles, Cal was the most dangerous player on the team. And now they've backed up the Speedily, who may just be one of the most talented gamers on planet Earth. The ability of Speedily to just walk into seemingly any game and get #1 on the ladder is absurd. It's an Envy team that really has reworked repeatedly, and this may be their strongest incarnation yet.
Avast, were you ever #1 on a leaderboard for a game that not many people know about?
Technically yes, but Team Fortress 2 didn't have like public leaderboards the same way. They all had individual servers, so I was #1 on on a large individual servers.
Massive.
But that was a long time ago, very long time ago. Not quite the same as the global leaderboard, which Speedily has been dominating. And Envy, they've kind of built this a semi-old head roster, if we can say that, because these guys are all like 24, 25.
They're going to be graduates of college. So, yeah.
They're not really old heads, but it is interesting when you see this evolution of the roster, how we've evolved, and now we brought in Nero, we brought in Kaluge, we brought in Speedily, we have Cal obviously staying with them. So it is very much an kind of a old school Overwatch roster that now we brought into this new Marvel Rivals environment, along with some newcomers like Window. So I do think, and Month. So I do think overall this roster is pretty exciting. Their evolution has been pretty good, and it's a team that we should look out for. And I really hope that when you look at 100 Thieves, since they haven't really evolved much on the roster side other than maybe the sub side, like, is this going to be a return to form for like Delina in particular? I think is going to be a lot of emphasis put on them, and like how can they match up against the Envy duelists?
Can I just say, as someone who's been in esports for 20 years, it is so dope to have Nade Shot's team playing Hastro's team and Rivals Fight Night for $1,000. They're across all of AAA esports, and they could be anywhere. They're here for a reason. They're telling you there's a lot of potential in this space, and they've got a lot of faith in these players in North America. 100 Thieves kind of shocked me, ZP. The first time they came around, I thought it might be a short-term visit. But Terra was a monster on the Wolverine. He showcases Winter Soldier. Hey, look, you're up here. You're up in the corner. There you go.
Another fan.
Yeah, we got a lot of friends here. But I felt like Vinny stole the show. With Groot not being played as much, is he going to be the player to watch, or who are you looking at, ZP?
I I mean, look, you still can't discount Vinny, where, yeah, you look at Vinny, okay, overall, made a name on Groot, but anyone that's playing Groot at that ridiculously high level is usually versatile enough to make an impact on all the other Vanguards that are currently getting played. So not too worried there. And I mean, for 100 Thieves, look, this is one thing that people may forget too, is that you go back to their Mutants days, this is one of the most experienced veteran teams in Marvel Rivals. They were winning tournaments way, way back before you had organized orgs coming in and picking up teams. So if any team is good at, you know, picking themselves up and finding a new way as the meta evolves, it's going to be 100 Thieves.
Good call out there. It's time to take a look at our maps, our bans, and protects North America. Not very quick on the sticks normally, ZP. Are they in the lobby to start the day?
You know, truthfully, I hope so. That's where I'm at. I honestly, I hope they're in lobby, and, you know, we've done everything possible to try and get them in there, but you know how North American players and their bladders go. Sometimes the players just, they go to the bathroom. It happened last night even, again, where we thought we'd be good to go into a map 3 in our sister program, and no, we were not. We were just held hostage as 3 players went to the bathroom yet again. It's just the price of doing business in North America.
Oh, ZP, we're going to start handing out fines. I came up with the system last week. Vast, did you hear it? You were here for that. Yeah, it's just $50. $50 for every 5 minutes you're late.
I mean, it's just the culture we have comparatively, you know, like Europe, they don't have the Stanley Cup, like water bottle culture. You know, everyone here, we're addicted to hydration now. We're addicted to hydration. We're adding our little flavor packets to the water. You know, everyone's like, ooh, like, look at this. Like, I mean, probably not these guys, I'm going to be honest. I don't think these guys are the ones doing it, but I do think that it's definitely a slightly different culture. After, if you ever walk in Europe and having to get water there, it's kind of a pain sometimes. So yeah. Overall, like, I hope that they're moving a bit faster this week.
They're going to do great. I have so much faith. They have Hastro and Nadeshot supporting them. Why would they not? In the meantime, can we give a shout out to another org owner? Shroud X was part of a charity deal where Shroud decided, you know what, now I have to actually put together this team and support them. And well, he has grown his influence in the Rivals space. NetEase and friends are getting behind it. ZP, what's going down this Saturday?
That's right, it's the Shroud Gauntlet. We got 8 of the best teams around that are all going to be playing against each other. 1 day, 8-team double elimination. We're not going to quite announce the teams here just yet, but let's just say if they've been a really good team, you're probably going to see them. Yeah, Shroud X is playing. I can probably spoil that one.
No way! He's playing in the Gauntlet? They're playing?
Unbelievably, Shroud X will be playing in the Shroud Tournament. Yes, that is a little bit of a spoiler, but...
Chat, you didn't think I could do it. I can get you anything out of ZP. Hell's Heaven is going to be map number 1. ZP, is Virtus Pro playing? No, because they're not in North America. Is Envy playing, or are they scared?
Okay, you know what? We're not going to do the 20 questions here. Just... have faith that they're a good team. They're probably going to be there. And also, I could say this too, is that it's going to be a new take in the game. Chat. It's going to be a fearless draft format too. Going to have some hero variety.
Wait, what does fearless draft mean, ZP?
Can't play the same hero more than once in you play it in map 1, can't play it in map 2. That's all you get from me from here. That's it.
More will be announced later.
That is going to be fun.
Who's running the tournament? Are we allowed to say who's running the tournament? Like, is that?
Yeah, Shroud is. With the help of your fantastic casters on screen today, here we go. Game number 1, Hell's Heaven Envy versus 100 Thieves is loading up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, get your chat points in. Are you riding blue or are you riding red? I don't know what to expect of this Envy lineup. I've been told about Cal and how Hastra was so excited about this Hella player. Hella hasn't really been in the meta recently. On the other side, I remember Terra popping off with a Winter Soldier and Wolverine specifically were the 2 final end plates. Those haven't been used a ton. So, Avast, what's the expectations from our NA teams now in Season 2?
I mean, Human Torch, you've seen him, you love him. I mean, Johnny's here, he's home, and I think also you do see some Wolverine getting played, so you could see Terra make it back to that kind of like signature pick a little bit for him. But Human Torch, Psylocke is going to be a lot. You're going to see that with especially with the team ups with like Emma Frost in particular, getting those illusions. So you do get to see some of the other ones. I mean, Winter Soldier got played in Europe, and you know now we can stop filling because now we can look at the actual draft.
Thank God. Players, you are almost fined. ZP, way to work your magic, my guy. Okay, we got our first ban coming in from 100 Thieves. Is it a group ban, or will we see the rooted tank make its way through? Okay, so Human Torch, normally one of the first 2 banned out. Envy, what does Kaluge not want to play against?
Iron Fist, apparently. They're talking about the strategist at this point, where the strategists do not want to deal with an Iron Fist just continually hunting them down for the entirety of the game. And look, it makes sense. If Envy wants to play a game that's a little bit more spaced out, give players like Cal more room to work with, regardless of whether they're on Winter Soldier or on the Hela, this makes a lot of sense, because Iron Fist just introduces a whole bunch of chaos into the game.
Iron Fist has been wild. I want to know, like, who is the great Iron Fist player on 100 Thieves that you're afraid of? Is it Terra? Is it Delana?
I feel like if Terra is typically playing stuff like Wolverine, typically that's the player you're also going to shift. Like, someone that's like the more flex pick is typically going to be playing like Iron Fist. Like, if you have someone that's like a little bit more dedicated to like not like hit scan specific roles. But also, I mean, Terra has been playing a lot of Winter Soldier, so it's kind of up in the air of like who's going to play what. But I feel like Delana's probably not going to play Iron Fist.
Vinny got his Groot, ZP. That's a highlight for me. We will see Groot for the first time tonight. Mark him off the list, observers, as Hulk is also going to be in the mix. Psylocke has been protected. Fourth protection now coming in from 100 Thieves, and it'll be Winter Soldier for Terra.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And you know what also probably going to come in here? The Namor ban. I think if the other team shows Hulk, oh no, it's actually going to be the Warlock ban. Okay, 100 Thieves decide, no. We don't want to deal with res comp under any circumstances, which means that Namor very well may be coming on in for Envy.
We like this. I'm excited.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, I look at this and I see a Luna ban, I see an Iron Fist ban, I see a Wolverine ban. It feels very like, okay, we want to remove characters that we find like kind of annoying to dive, and also we don't want them to be like too anti-dive necessarily, right? Like, we're not going to have a Luna Snow. We're not going to have an Iron Fist that's like pretty decent to like squishies and chasing them down. We're not even going to have like some of those like really, really strong, like, I mean, there's no Namor band anyway, so they didn't have to worry about that. So this is an interesting setup for Envy when they protected Psylocke, which means that they might want to be playing like a very fast, aggressive comp.
Bang! It's game number one. It's Rivals Fight Night North America on the mic tonight. We have the great casters, ZP and Avast. Sit back, relax, crack that brew, and enjoy some domination.
You know, Avast, as we get into this one, I'm really interested because I truly have no expectations in the sense that I don't know who's really coming out ahead here. I'm really bullish on the new Envy roster, but I'm also really bullish on 100 Thieves' ability to bounce back with a very veteran team for Marvel Rivals. So, I don't know. What about you coming into this? You got anything you're favoring?
I mean, I think for 100 Thieves, the one thing I worry about for them is that this team is really, really good. I'm just like, they really are. I don't even think there's anything wrong with the Winter Soldier at all. It just feels kind of old, you know? Like, there's no Emma Frost here. You know, we're not seeing Emma Frost. It just feels, there's no Human Torch. Like, it feels very old. Like, it doesn't feel like patch 2.0. It doesn't feel like season 2.0 to me.
Okay, old is an ugly word. We're gonna reframe this for a better phrasing. It's vintage.
Sure,
it's vintage team
vintage.
composition.
Yeah, it's limited. It's limited. You know, it's a limited run, not in production is quite anymore. But you know, just overall, pretty much what we expected. Psylocke's, Winter Soldiers across the board. Gonna be a lot of poke. Really not that fast, actually.
Well, maybe a little bit of a retro team comp, but for now, 100 Thieves fighting here with Envy for positioning. Both teams just trying out a little bit. Poke window under pressure, same with Harvey. And you know, some of these fights can go a little bit longer here at Vast, with both teams right now really taking their time.
Yeah, this is definitely just the name of the game of, okay, we're gonna poke. Can we get maybe like a hook from the Winter Soldier? Can we find someone in the back line? And well, that's gonna be the find.
Yeah, speedily gets caught super early and now up one. It's gonna be 100 Thieves trying to secure their advantage. Vinny was able to set up invisible boundary, though, going to be dropped by Envy, and this is more delay here where we've seen on this map in particular, you get delayed for a while. Terra, though, going to drop the Kraken impact. However, Strangling Prison out in response here from Window. Going to slow things down. Another invisible boundary going to be dropped as the Loki clones come into play. And both teams right now back up to a full 6v6. Vinny, though, immediately going to find Cal and 100 Thieves. They've done enough now.
I mean, it's just two sides sitting there building ults for a solid like a minute of brawl, and then finally find a pick. Doesn't guarantee it. Every ult's having to be used pretty much. I mean, just Meteor M's left on the field here. The leftover ults, you know, the Meteor M. Sometimes forgotten, but very important. You know, it's like the car. It's a car. It's like oil, motor oil in your car. You know, don't forget about that. Change it every 6 months, maybe. Something about that, the Meteor M. I don't know. We'll work on that. But either way, Envy looking for the recontest here. Hold on to a Meteor M. They're going to have another invisible boundary coming up here. So a lot of ults already been built because these fights are running so long. So the ults are going to be building, you know, fairly frequently here, even though the fights won't be that frequent.
Yeah, I mean, for domination, this has been a pretty long first stage here thus far. Hook, though, coming on in, snatching, forcing out the Meteor M instantly here from Kaluj, who's looking, and Cal, meanwhile, get the crack and impact in on the Vinny. First pick here from Envy, but they lose Cal in the process. Back to a 5-on-5, 100 Thieves. Still in control of the points, still buying time and contesting. Now, speedily going into the back line, dropping the dance of the butterfly. Delina, though, able to get way more value into the back onto Month. 100 Thieves, they just disengage a little bit and still get value as they do it, Avast.
Ooh, speedily though, still finding some picks, but it doesn't really matter, too little too late. And I mean, really well played for 100 Thieves. They back out, they force them those early off the bionic hook as well from Terra, so really good find. And 100 Thieves, I mean, it's looking like, you know, we were worried, like, what's their form going to be here? How are they going to look? Maybe we haven't seen them in a little bit, it feels like. They're looking still very good. Looking extremely solid across the board. Looking almost in a way, like, more measured, way less aggressive even at times than they were in the past. So now Envy in a situation where this is a very important fight. Lose here, you're probably in a last second just recontest restrain situation. You need something to go your way. You need some ults, you need a pick, anything.
It's more seasoned, 100 Thieves are saying now, more grizzled, measured. But invisible boundary gonna be dropped here as 100 Thieves just walks in forward. Vinny real close to strangling Prison, ready to drop it, drops it immediately after the build. Vinny, though, still under all sorts of pressures. Vinny gonna go down here, it is, speedily working the outside, ends up with 2, and Envy finally crack the defense here of the 100 Thieves.
Speedily here, finding some picks as well again over and over, and Speedily just, you know, a new presence, a new pickup here for Envy. Obviously has made their name known in other games, but looking extremely clean so far on the Psylocke. And now Envy, I mean, they have a lot of bank to make up, right? Their ult bank looking pretty good here. 4 or 5 ults coming up. But they have to win every fight and do it in a way that looks extremely economical, ideally, because 100 Thieves can just wait for the perfect win condition as they come on in to set up their poke, looking to just get anything out of them.
Oh, and what about the win condition of Terror just opened up with Kraken Impact? They find the opportunity on the window. They get the group down immediately, set themselves up for the 6-on-5, and yeah, Nero has to drop the invisible boundary immediately, and they still catch Terra. What in the world? Envy down players, able to get a few pickoffs, even things out. Delina, though, gonna use Dance of the Butterfly into the backline, takes down Cal. Fight not necessarily completely over, make it a little bit scrappy, but it does buy some time for Envy.
I mean, that was actually an insane exchange for Envy. Look at the ults. 100 Thieves, that's 3 ults gone for them. They've committed a lot there, thinking they could break it open off the picks from that early pick from Window. And Nero making sure to back up and stay alive. Really well played. And even though Cal went down, the Guardian Shield keeps Cal up for a little bit longer into the Dance of the Butterfly. So 100 Thieves come back in here with no ults, no positioning, and Envy, 4 ults in the bank for them.
You gotta look to Kaluj here. Kaluj in a great spot for a good Meteor M. Same with Cal. And now, Envy getting forced back a little bit. Month gonna drop the clone boundary. And now he's
so far away, this boundary here, ZP.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit off. It's a little bit off, and Window actually goes down, so Envy still hang on to some ults. Nero could drop another boundary here, down 1, and gets Harvey! Somehow, someway, Kaluj lands the Meteor into the back, sets up Cal for another 2, and Envy, they're gonna hang on.
I mean, what a great find, too. Envy, they back up from the boundary that was used. Maybe potentially a little early from just AP, just feeling some of the pressure. And they hit the boundary of their own from Nero, and Nero hits the force physics, finding SJP there. So this is so big here. 100 Thieves in a last-second recontest. Delena, maybe going to be the one to have to touch. Is going to get that touch immediately down, but I don't think there's anyone else here.
Yeah, I mean, Delena gets it in the overtime. Now 100 Thieves, what can you do down 1? You got Terra onto the swap to Spider-Man. We'll see if anything opens up there. TTK's Meteor M, and no, just gonna be saved for the next round. So interesting. 100 Thieves, I mean, they start out strong, they get first control, and they look really good on their defense, but Envy cracks them open once, and they can't get back in.
Now, Envy looked really, really good there. And the last-second mag cannon as well from Kaluj to deny the touch from Terra, who is on the Spider-Man. Just a little micro masterclasses from Envy there. Loved how you're using the ults. Loved, I mean, just in general, they looked great mechanically. So good showing again, 100 Thieves. Maybe potentially one of those teams where we talked about at this point, it's a little late into the season, you know, after these hero adjustments that have been made. But a lot of teams are like, oh, maybe we're not feeling super comfortable in what, you know, some people are saying, like the new meta, like, but also Hell's Heaven still, I think this is a map, if there's any map you can justify and maybe not running some of those more buffed recent picks we've been seeing, just because of how strong Group continues to be, if you want to force that. So still plenty of opportunity here for 100 Thieves. Bring it back. They hold on to a Meteor M, but Envy, the ult bank's looking good. Using some Jeff tech to get out fast. So 100 Thieves got to see something happening. We got to see, like, okay, what's the answer here? Do we go with an early Meteor M? Do we just going to save it because, you know, we're close to the Dance of the Butterfly? Some good option.
I think it's the latter. I think you wait for Delina, the build Dance of the Butterfly, and you don't even necessarily use it immediately, but you use it to get aggressive, and you can use it as an escape if need be. But here we go, first fight underway. This one, a little bit scrappier than the first on the last round. Both teams right now, again, on into it. Delina does build up Dance of the Butterfly. Envy sitting on a pretty big ult bank here, waiting for the opportunity to drop it speedily, though. Takes down Delina. Psylocke v Psylocke. Sets Envy up for the 6v5. Window just gets to walk on forward. Strangling Prison in reserve. And 100 Thieves, for now, getting pushed off the point. TTK gonna try and even things up. Meteor M, regen domain everywhere, though. Nowhere to really throw it. Strangling Prison, meanwhile, gonna drop into the heart of 100 Thieves. Sets up Envy for the first fight.
And remember I said before this series started, ZP, I was like, okay, Delana, he was such a force for 100 Thieves on the Hela in particular. The Psylocke, I mean, he just unfortunately gets found there a little early by Speedily, right? It seems like he's been a little bit quieter. I think this is one of those moments where you need that pressure early, because losing that pick meant that Envy, they were not afraid to commit with the Dancer Butterfly. They force out the regen domain. They're able to get some ults at 100 Thieves and then just have a much better Strangling Prism there for Windows, since the regen domain was already used on the side of Harvey. So this is overall Envy looking extremely confident, looking very, very good right now. 100 Thieves looking for the retest though. 4 ults in the bank. This is potentially a good option.
Gotta look to Vinny here. Early crack and impact though from Cal. Envy trying to get a quick pick off here before it even begins. Cal still searching Vinny though. Gonna spawn here. Strangling Prison. Is the follow through gonna be there? Envy for now looking okay. Gonna clone out the invisible boundary. Still looking healthy across the board. And now Delina gonna end up falling. Gonna see Terra now come on over. Try and even things out here for 100 Thieves, but 100 Thieves, they're down 1 so far. Now down 2 as Speedily gets to the back line, and they will have to go back to the drawing board once more.
I mean, Speedily's farming. I mean, Speedily is looking so good on the Psylocke right now. They even made sure that Terra turned for the crack and impact to get the Culling effect onto Speedily. Wasn't enough. So Envy standing strong here repeatedly. Gonna have 2 ults in the bank, still holding on to the invisible boundary for the Dance of the Butterfly. I mean, this is looking pretty rough for 100 Thieves. They have to make it through this choke, which is always so brutal here on Hell's Heaven. They have the setup here from Window. They need to find something. They need to find something. They can't let Speedily get another pick. They just can't let it happen there again.
I mean, Speedily's getting ready to dance. Speedily's sitting here going, okay, tell me when to go. I'm ready to put on the performance of a lifetime. Heads on here to the back. Dance of the Butterfly, good to go. Lets it rip. Begins dancing into 100 Thieves backline to very minimum effect. Actually, just has to walk away and gets crunched by Terra. Not impressed with the dance floor that Speedily tried to put down. And 100 Thieves with the early pick. They lose TTK. They can't keep TTK healed on up. Down 1 is 100 Thieves. 5 on 5. Terra, though, with the crack and impact, evening things up here Vast when they need it most.
Oh, that was so crucial, and really good peel there. I mean, Speedily maybe even getting a little too over-aggressive, potentially, hoping there was going to be a little bit more contained. I really like the walls that come up from Vinny, try to deny some of the peel that was going to go out to Speedily there, too. So, 100 Thieves, incredibly good job at peeling Speedily, making sure they don't get anything, getting some picks. Finally get the flip here, but once again, we're in a situation where, okay, they need to win every fight. And this is just going to be very hard, you know? You have a ton of time bank to burn down. You have to worry about your ult economy, make sure to maintain it perfectly. As Envy, they set for the recontest, they have a Strangling Prison too, which is always extremely scary. And at the very least, barring the disaster, you're going to force out a strategist ult.
Also, Window has a way better... Oh, the Force Physics though! Force Window out a little bit early. They take him down. Massive play coming on in from SJP. Drops the boundary right after. Envy down a Groot. Not the best opportunity for Envy right now to be in this fight, though they nearly get the point flip here at best, even down 1. 100 Thieves just barely able to take control. They lose Harvey. Actually, potentially winnable now for Envy. 100 Thieves gonna have way less to stand on their side. Vinny gonna feel pressured here to just drop a prison. Does it. Drops the prisons. Fall through gonna be there. Regen domain comes out in response, and that is gonna be the end of that. 100 Thieves, again, they cannot lose this fight, or they lose the round, and Cal breaks into the backside. Crack and impact, leading the way, takes down both vanguards, and this might be Envy with map 1.
Well, you said they can't lose the fight, they lose the round. It's been done. It's over. It's been done. And just another really insanely good pick from Envy. Just finding Harvey there, that time from Colluge instead of Speedily, but just the damage was good. They had the regeneration domain for the Strangling Prison, even off the really great force physics from SJP. SJP, I think, you know, kind of opened up that fight for 100 Thieves, and they just couldn't convert. They still couldn't convert it. Envy looking extremely polished across the board right now. I mean, this team's kind of looking like a force. I mean, the overhauls may be paying dividends for them.
Month and Nero looking very comfortable, ZP, I noticed. And then, of course, you have the pop-off highlights. That is up until you get Delena in the back line. Vinny, he is what we knew he was, SVP, doing some fantastic work. Ultimately, you look at damage done in the lobby, 24,000 by Terra, not awful. On the other side, 20,000 nearly from Cal, and of course, the Vanguard's reigning supreme.
Yeah, you look at the stat line. I mean, it does give you kind of idea of a little bit what happened here, where Terra still looked good even in a 100 Thieves lost. I think Delena definitely had some issues from Speedily on the same note when you looked at how some of the Psylocke mirror was being interacted with. Not just in terms of just getting outright killed, but just some of the back and forth, I think, really limited what you'd normally see out of Delena, which is less on Delena and more on the fact that Speedily had a really, really good game on Psylocke. So the retooling of the Envy roster, to me, what this means is that, yeah, you might not be able to I remix reverse sweep anymore, but what about just a normal Envy sweep? Or at least that's the argument Envy's trying to make here.
Do you keep rolling with the Groot? You went off him at the end anyway for 100 Thieves. We're going to get into game number 2 here shortly, and it will be 100 Thieves pick. Avast, walk me through that first game. What did you like so far from Envy in particular?
Honestly, I like kind of everything. Speedily, definitely for a new edition, looks really, really good. I think Window looked solid. I wasn't like insanely impressed necessarily, but looked really good and held up against Vinny, who's one of those players like, oh, this is the best group player in an A, you know, right? When we talked about Vinny in the past on 100 Thieves. I do think what I liked for Envy overall was they looked solid across the board. They looked like they were getting picks a lot. They definitely did a good job of setting up Speedily and enabling that. And Nero as well, for being like a former high level kind of like DPS player, looks really, really good on the Invisible Woman. But, you know, conversely, so does SGP. I definitely think that for me, it just goes back to the crux of the issue a bit of like for 100 Thieves, like how are we looking in this new meta? And additionally, how does Delena look in the new meta? Because ZP highlighted at the end, I think Delena played fine, but you look at those final blows, those final limbs, only 4. Definitely not getting this enough as you need for, in particular, a Psylocke, who's one of those characters and typically going to be assassinating people, going to be finding just insta picks with the burst, with the damage there, and it just wasn't happening, just being found, being caught, and you know you can do it.
Enough for both of the strategist ults coming out or not getting picks in your, and I guess your neutral play? What do you need to see from a Psylocke when you see the damage? It's just 1,000 difference, but 12 final blow difference.
I mean, all of it comes down to neutral play, because you look at the gold standard of Psylocke play, which would be Sparker over an EU. Sparker makes his presence known in fights, even without Dance of the Butterfly being used. But also, in a Psylocke mirror, you have a lot of these interactions where both Psylocks are kind of poking at each other, and even if you don't outright get eliminated by the other Psylocke, if you're on the losing end, you have to back out a little bit. You have to wait more to get heals, and the Psylocke that kind of won the trade gets more time to get better ult build and more pressure done at the same time. And I think between the two Psylocks, there's definitely, I think, a bit of a gap in favor of Speedily. And of course, you still have strategists giving you support all the while. It's not a direct one-to-one, but Envy was playing with the Psylocke better.
Small sample size, we should call it as well. We got a lot more games, I have a feeling, as this is a best of 5. The first to win 3 will go on to play Shroud X, our returning champions for the NA crown and $1,000. Taking a look at the highlights, the early rounds, it was the new guy from Envy. Do we want to see him on more characters than just Psylocke, or were you happy with this, Avast?
I mean, I always would love to see them on more characters, because I think, in particular, when you want to test and be like, okay, how good is this roster? Plus, if we run the fantasy situations of like, oh, we finally get the international event, right? You want to see flexibility, because you don't want to necessarily have one comp to play against Virtus Pro, if such a thing were to say, when running these fantasy simulations. And more flexibility, always better. It's always better. So I definitely would love to see Speedily off the Psylocke here. But if this is going to be Envy's like bread and butter composition and they make it work the whole time, then I mean, they're going to make it work, and they're going to get the value out of it they need.
Kaluge getting picked apart occasionally, but there's always more. You got Window in the back line. You've got Month keeping the team up with the copies, and Terra doing as much as he can on the Winter Soldier. The character may just be outdated at this point. The meta has evolved past a one-man hard carry.
Well, I think in this case, you have both teams playing Winter Soldier. I think Bucky's still pretty good, but I think he hit the nail on the head as like one-man hard carry. Winter Soldier is now more of a team player in the sense that the rest of your team has to contribute pretty heavily. You can't just expect to have one insanely good Bucky player and have them just run wild with the entire match. It's still a pretty important part of the team for some of the comps that will run it, but it is the amount that your Winter Soldier player is putting their thumb on the scale is significantly less than it was in the previous season.
All right, I have a challenge from the chat, Avast. Are you up for this?
Yeah, it depends on the challenge, I'd say.
Okay, good answer. Great answer, by the way. Can you tell me by the end of game 2 who is the better Magneto, Kaluge, or top tier kid? TTK, the controller wonder.
I mean, I feel like that's a kind of a interesting question in general because they've both been really good. So I mean, we're gonna pick one series and be like, oh yeah, they're the better one holistic.
I think chat just wants you to weigh in on it today since they're finally playing against each other. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can definitely we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes, obviously. Because here's the thing about Vanguard. This is for the Vanguard cope. You know, if your team's not getting any limbs and they're just falling over, not your fault. Not your fault.
What do you guys do?
Not your fault.
I'm blocking everything up here.
You know, like what can you do? So I do think that's something that there is some cope there to be found. But we'll see we'll keep an eye on it. I'm gonna keep a quick eye on it. I'll be ready to put a take in.
We do have the path ready, and if we have a moment before the bans and protects, which I assume we do because it's North America, we should remind everybody this Saturday we have more rivals coming your way. Shroud and Shroud X putting together the Shroud Gauntlet. You're going to want to check that out. ZP has all the details. And if you don't follow Tempo ZP on Twitter, what are you doing with your life right now? ZP, what do they need to know?
Look, what you gotta know is that we're gonna have 8 of the best teams around playing against each other one day. Yeah, 8 full teams. A lot of them from North America with one surprise team not from North America. One day, double elimination. You will see it all, the beginning to the end. And there's a lot of prize money, of course, at stake. $50,000 with $25,000 to the first place team.
50 fight nights of Vast on one Saturday. Shroud has so many monies.
So we're going to quantify it that way. We're going to quantify every tournament and how many fight nights it is from now on. Like the Ignition series, that's oh my God, that's like 300,000 fight. That's a lot of fight nights. That's 300,000 fight nights all at once in total prize pool. That's insanity. So definitely a new metric to be measured there in Marvel Rivals. But it looks like next map too on sort of related to Marvel Rivals, I guess, is Yggdrasil Path.
Yeah, we've known that for like 60 seconds, but then nothing happens of Vast. I've learned to be burned by North America, where they like tease you. They're like, haha, we can make one decision. Let me go take a poop now.
I mean, it really is just kind of like that in North America. I got nothing else for you. We do everything we can to get the teams in the lobby, but someone just has a bladder or,
I'm putting someone away this time. I'm calling you next game. All right, here we go. Bans and Protects, Iron Fist out again. This time it's 100 Thieves. It was Envy with that first ban last time. And there's the torch. Do we have them flip productions? Let me know, because otherwise we're staying consistent.
I mean, because also Wolverine, yeah, we definitely do. Good call out, because also the Wolverine Protect, I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure that's
Tara likes this guy. Don't know who on Envy likes to run it.
That definitely makes sense. So Human Torch gone again already, which, I mean, this is a map where Human Torch has definitely gotten a lot of play, but this could be, the thing I'm worried about here, and we talked about, is like, are 100 Thieves just going to try to force like I don't think it's necessarily bad, but they're just going to try to force like a hella Wolverine comp or something, which is like, it just feels to me like, okay, we're past this now. Like we're beyond this. Like it's still like good on the map, but
no more Groot, no more Psylocke flanking to worry about. What do we protect here, 100 Thieves? You've got Terra, you've got your Luna. Now what are we gonna do?
Well, I think what you're seeing here is that if Psylocke isn't banned, she's too good to not play, but I don't think Delina necessarily wants to play on Psylocke. I think this clearly kind of tips her hand that they may be angling more towards playing with a Hela or playing with a Namor, or just, generally speaking, they did not enjoy the Psylocke mirror, and they've changed things up, but they're still going to be running the Wolverine on top of it. However, for 100 Thieves, you don't get everything that you want because they had to give up the Groot in the process.
Hulk and Wolverine, I'm just ready for this punch fest. Can you throw a thing in the mix? Let's get weird. Shout out to the Whisper of a Reason for using the Prime. It's not even their money. It's Amazon's money that they're giving to us. You can do it as well. If you hadn't used your Prime, simply ZP. How do they do it? It's like a little crown, right? Just got to click it.
Yeah, you just gotta click it, and you do it, and you do it for free. That's the most important part, is that you already have your Amazon Prime. You click the button for free, and it gives us real money to keep the show going. It is unbelievable how that works.
It's cromulent, it's embiggening, it's map number 2. Thanks to Hexagram, our producer behind the mic. We have the great ZP and Avast. ZP and
okay,
Avast.
So not the great Avast, but just the regular Avast.
No, we got the okay Avast is what we got. You know, it's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. We got Avast at home. That's fine.
All right. Well, You know what? I'll say we got the fantastic Avast is going up for it. And as we
I
head
just
over
sound like
here,
a magician.
Look, okay, you're being way too picky. We got the
Definitely don't trust that guy.
The picky and cromulent Avast. But either way, as we head into Yggdrasil Path, we're gonna see a swap up here, and it's a hella duel. However, I don't necessarily think this is full advantage. I feel like at most this is even because while Delena has one of the deadliest hellas round, so does Cal.
Yeah, this is, I mean, and also I think it's Envy getting to force out this Emma Frost comp here a little bit, which to be fair, I mean, 100 Thieves, I feel confident with them playing that, but a Hulk too, so they're getting the Namor team up as well for Speedily. So pretty interesting here because I really still rate Namor on this map, especially when you have a Hulk team up. I think Namor is really good at forcing the flank fights here. So you're playing Cal into Delena, which is like, okay, I would say that's a relatively equal hella matchup here, but now you have the Namor, and I really love the Namor to control the flanks. So much pressure is going to be on Terra here to just find picks early, and I mean, well, maybe SJP can be the one to find a pick early.
Well, all that Namor pressure is gone because Namor is gone. And I think to me what really is going to set this apart is I just feel like Namor puts a time limit on things here, which is that can you find a pick with the Wolverine comp in time before Namor eventually wears you down with all the damage that's being put. And right now we got a little bit of abduction. High to the sky. Deep diving is Terra in the moment. And guess what? That's a gone Hulk. Hulk completely gone here as Envy just continues to try to make this offense work.
You know, I said earlier, I was like, well, 100 Thieves, it feels like they're trying to play like old. They're trying to play the season 1.5. You know, they're not playing the season 2. They're playing the 1.5. But if this just works for them, if this is just the optimal comp, then maybe it's just the right play all the time, right? Because Delena on the Hela is so good. They know how to play this space so well. They just added the Emma Frost. You have to contest this. I mean, just another pick for Delena, just making sure that Speedily can't just get on the high ground for free and having Terra just get another displacement. I mean, this is for 100 Thieves. It just looks like they're so comfortable on this CP. Like, they look so insanely comfortable.
You know, I'm not watching Delena's stream right now, but I do feel like that's a moment where you just laugh and be like, you really gonna walk up to my high ground like that? As Cal says, he is gonna walk up to your high ground like that. I got his back. 100 Thieves off the pickoff now, 6-on-5. They get rid of the very credible Hela threat for a moment. 100 Thieves, though, plenty of ults in their bank here to stall this out, make a window of opportunity, but Terra goes down! Terra unable to get the abduction, and now both duels down. You just see Envy really pushing the issue.
Trying to take as much space as possible here. And Cal, very smart, recognizing the flank presence here that could happen for Delena. The duel goes on. Had to use the Astral Flock.
Sonic Seduction being used here by TTK to give 100 Thieves a little bit of breathing from the head on out. Backed up by Fate of Both Worlds with SJP. Vinny, Meteor M, looking for anything, doesn't find it. Envy, burning their ult bank and turn. Mega Hurricane coming out here from Speedily. See how much damage that is going to reap into 100 Thieves backline. For now, 100 Thieves, though, completely okay, still healed up. The Fate of Both Worlds being cloned out by Harvey, but Window from downtown lands Meteor M. And that should be the first point of Astra, at least it's looking real close.
I mean, what a find there from Window. I mean, literally finding the window right through the gap in the Mind Aegis as well for TTK. So they make it through. I mean, such an important find. Maybe that fight could have gone a little bit longer. There was still pretty bad spaces advantage there that was going on for 100 Thieves, considering they were forced into the corner. But now, Envy going to take some very aggressive position. I love the Storm pick here. We kind of highlighted at the end with the Omega Hurricane. But you can use the Aura to just take these really aggressive fights, especially if you're playing into the Wolverine. Having another flyer, it can never really hurt, necessarily. And so for Envy, they're going to be using the Aura to the max advantage, try to take very aggressive fights, try to stay out of the range of Terra, and get the most value they can out of the Aura.
Well, as Puckett was highlighting, you know, how versatile is Speedily? And so far, across 1.5 maps, the answer is very, very versatile. Building up Omega Hurricane pretty darn quickly here as 100 Thieves continue to get progress on the convoy. Envy still, or rather, Envy game progress on convoy. 100 Thieves still looking to find their footing. And Speedily has the Omega Hurricane built on up. Gonna drop it into the back line. He goes. And already you got the preemptive Fate of Both Worlds gonna be dropped here by SJP. One pick off though already found here. Harvey goes down and Envy just working like clockwork at the moment of Ast.
Kalu's going down though, maybe a chance to just backed up, but really good find from Delena. Keeps him in the fight as Cal almost finds Delena there on the flank. And now 100 Thieves, they can play it a little slow here. They can play it slow, look for some picks. They don't have to push their advantage necessarily as Terra going to go back in, find the leap, and Nero gets taken out.
This is exactly what 100 Thieves needed. They needed to slow things down a little bit. Delena being surgical with some of these pickoffs, and look at all the terrain that they're going to get here out of this, where Envy had them on the ropes. They'd gone through this very difficult choke point, and they're just getting staggered bit by bit. And I do wonder if this is the end of the storm here, where Speedily just had a rough last minute and a half. I feel like the swap could be coming.
It could be. I think they're going to try to commit because they're close to the Mega Hurricane. I do think for them, they just need to make sure they're not losing picks, right? Because you don't want to front face the Storm into a bunch of this damage. Is okay. Committing with the Sonic Seduction early from Kaluj. 100 Thieves is going to back it up and pop one of their own.
Both teams getting told to kneel, but maybe way more effective for 100 Thieves as Terra goes in, pulls one to the back line. Fate of Both Worlds going to be invested by Envy to try and keep people up. Meanwhile, you got Vinny, Meteor M, looking to the backline, regen domain, gonna negate it. Omega Hurricane, though, coming in here from Speedily. Terra is down, 100 Thieves down one. Omega Hurricane looking for more. 100 Thieves on the back foot. Delina gonna take this guy here, Goddess of Death, laying down the bolts, trying to buy a little bit extra time here for 100 Thieves. Cal, though, lays his Goddess of Death in a much more devastating spot. And this is looking like Envy might have the second point. The picks are going their way.
And this is exactly what you wanted to get if you're Envy. I mean, 100 Thieves gonna get caught here at the choke, not gonna make it back in. Are going to commit the Fate of Both Worlds there from SJP as well. So this is a really good find from Envy. He's going to get some late stagger picks. Going to get that ult out. And now, there's going to be chase-ons. And I think this is very important for Envy where, yeah, Speedily got caught, but I don't think you need a swap yet. And now maybe a swap needs to happen because Terra going over to the Iron Man here. So they've gone to secondary flyer. There's not really going to be some easy wins here for Speedily to just play into. It's going to be a little bit more contestable. Though I do say that, like, you know, relatively even matchup between the two, though I might even favor the Iron Man just a tad, just because that focus beam is, they're still going to use that Goddess, or rather the Goddess boost and the Aura of Thunder, just get some extra damage here on the corner.
Envy right now trying to maintain their advantage, looking for it here in the neutral. Both teams a little bit drained as far as ultimates go into the fight. Kaluj, though, first to build. Sonic Seduction ready. Narrow, though, finding Vinny super early. And this is looking good for the Envy offense. And 100 Thieves, if you can, you just kind of back off. And Kaluj saying, no, we're going to stagger. Drops a Psionic Seduction, and the fall through is going to be there.
Cal watching for these flanks. They know that Delena's probably trying to make sneaky happen. There's such good awareness. Really good awareness there. Such good awareness from Cal. He knows all the tricks. They just know all the trick. They can't even touch.
Ridiculous. That final point was just so methodical from Envy. They get a pick off as a result of Kaluj going in, dropping the Psionic Seduction. They get additional staggers off of it, and it's done with the timing that 100 Thieves, as you mentioned, they don't even get to touch at the end.
And I think this is what we talked about a bit earlier, is that, you know, 100 Thieves, they're going back into a comp that maybe felt a little bit more comfortable for them, putting Delena back into the Hela, which is like their bread and butter, something that we've always loved them to see. But problem there, I mean, I guess to be fair, it's like a little bit of a swap there, but overall, it's like Cal knows these tricks. Cal's going to be watching this the whole time. Cal, they always are going to know what's happening because they are an extremely good Hela player. So this is not like a free matchup for them at all. So I like the Storm pick. I like how we were playing this. I love the aggression as well, where Kaluj just taking that heads up play of like, okay, there's not going to be any setup. Let's just run forward, drop the Sonic Seduction and spawn so we can keep that snowball going. So 100 Thieves, I mean, they're looking like a little bit behind, I want to say, comparatively to Envy. They're looking a bit behind as we head into this new sort of patch, this new era of Marvel Rivals.
How are you feeling about the compositions here, where you're pulling out the Iron Man, but the same note you're going, no, actually, when it comes to our Vanguard play, we still want to stick with Magneto and Emma. We don't actually need any team up, not necessary to bring out Banner, even though Banner is very allowed to be played at the moment.
I mean, I don't think Hulk is, Mr. Banner is required to show up on the field here. I mean, considering that Envy's not even playing him themselves, you know, anymore. They're just playing the Magneto. So I do think it's not totally required to get value out of the Iron Man. It's nice. It's a nice to have, but not totally necessary, because especially when you deal with like just the brawl here of these streets, Hulk requires a very particular, like, okay, how are you going to play it? Do you have a really, really good Hulk player that's going to make it work? Just because he doesn't bring that just consistent value that maybe a Magneto or even an Emma Frost does.
Well, Terra able to find the early pick here. 100 Thieves in the neutral. 2 quick pickoffs. It's going to be a quick retreat from Envy, and it's done with the timing here, Vast, that the recontest from Envy is actually going to be very, very awkward. And to lose first point this rapidly on Yggdrasil path, you don't see it happen all that often, and they're going to have to go for a portal for recontest, and we'll see if it works. If they get pummeled out of the portal, it could be horrific for Envy.
And they use the portal to make sure to block some of the damage, just turn it the other way. Using it as a shield, and Window gonna find SJP. That's a lot of sustain off the field there for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, but TTK in turn getting the entire Envy front line out of there. Who's going to stay in touch? The answer is no one. 100 Thieves respond with an even quicker take of the first point, and now they're getting staggers on top of it. Really nice bounce back here for 100 Thieves, making, you know, the early pick Iron Man still work.
And this is where I'd maybe want to see a swap from Speedily. I think you can still make the Storm work here, but when you're playing the double flyers, like Iron Man is so good, especially when you're playing these like very like brawly comps, because you have the Unibeam, you're gonna have just the overdrive as well to keep you in the fight. Like very, very powerful in terms of just brawling. And Storm brings a lot of value with the aura too, but Iron Man pretty good in this duel on the corner. And you're gonna have the, more importantly, just the pulse cannon, which it could be an instant fight when sometimes comparatively to the Omega Hurricane.
And Pulse Can's one of the most impactful ultimates in the entire game. If you can land it in Delina, you gotta think his trigger finger. Again, all sorts of itchy here in the moment. TTK opens up here, Psionic Seduction. Vinny is down, so if you're gonna do a Pulse Can to try and even things up, you gotta do it soon. Terra, though, gets on the Nero, went to the flank to the backline, got one of the strategists out. Very, very winnable here for 100 Thieves. Pulse Cannon comes on out, TTK able to get one, but the Omega Hurricane Meteor M combo in from Envy evens things out and now puts 100 Thieves more on the back foot.
Oh, and with the Goddess boost too, this chase is going to be so good for Envy. Finding Harvey late, might find some more. They are going to find SJP, so both the strategists down. So now Envy get to hold this corner again. And for 100 Thieves, what looked like a really great first has stalled here, but on the second trade of the ults. As the Gearmeister, thank you for the sub, by the way. Thank you for supporting the channel. You know, we talked about the primes earlier, but never forget also the most important hack, the mom's credit card hack. Never forget that one. Never forget that one. But Envy here on the corner. Cow just gonna be looking to control the flank, and 100 Thieves now gonna have to look for some answers to break it open. They are some ults of their own, so they do have some options. Maybe they could set up, just try to get a Meteor M on the field, just try to counter this Fate of Both Worlds.
I mean, I think right now they'd also love for Terra to just get something in the neutral. They do! Terra able to take down Cal super early in the fight, almost as ordained. And Delina taking advantage of it, getting speedily right after. 2 down now for Envy. Clues dropping the Psionic Seduction, the very little impact. Narrow's dance about to be ending here as Luna. 100 Thieves, a big ult bank, good to go, and TTK wants to get some staggers. Gonna be dropping the Psionic Seduction in turn. Envy being forced to give up ground, and Kalush cannot get away. It's looking like 100 Thieves real close now to getting the second point.
Gearmeister, in case they missed it, I didn't. Thank you for the sub.
We said it. We said it. Actually, we're professionals here. But now, the weekend is happening. Cal gonna find SJP, and this, I mean, I have so much, right now, there's still the Unibeam gonna be used, but Cal's gonna find another, gonna take it down to Delina. They never try to keep contest here on the point is Envy. What a good recontest, and I have to give a lot of credit back to Kalush there, who, when the Sonic section goes out for TTK, commits to the diamond form, runs past it, and just buys a little bit of extra time for Envy to regroup, recontest, come back in, and Cal just gets a really good flank there on the Hela. So now, 100 Thieves a little bit less than 2.5 minutes on the clock. Ult being burned out a bit, and it's looking a little bit more desperate now.
It's looking far more desperate. I mean, you go into the next fight, you can open with Fate of Both Worlds, and that's about it. The rest of it is just pure on ult building. And how many times can you go to the well and go, Terra, we need something. We need you to get pick as Hela one more time. That's all we're asking. That is where 100 Thieves are at right now. They need Terra to find something to really get this started, because otherwise they are drained at the moment of Vast.
Cal trying to pressure here on the flank again. A little bit of counter pressure in return. And this isn't a path, it's some classic, you know, digital path. Both the duelists gonna be flanking, gonna be fighting. Looking to find a poke out, looking to find a pick in general. As Cal gonna lose the peak that time.
Yeah, and Terra does it again. 100 Thieves. It's the same old playbook. Terra, do something. Terra did something. Got the first pick off. Sets up the 6-on-5. Harvey gonna go on in with the cloned Luna ult. 100 Thieves applying all the pressure they can. Envy responding with the Luna ult of their own. And now 100 Thieves gonna delay it a little bit more. Add an extra dance here from Harvey. Into the sky, Terra goes. Goss to death. Looking for pickoffs. Meteor M doesn't want to feed it. Waiting. Meteor M is used. And now the barrage continues into the backline. Enough to find the strategist in the back. Septalina for the final kill. And surely you would think 100 Thieves gets the second point now.
Vast, the storm isn't the answer, right? I feel like she's just getting picked out of the sky.
I don't think so. I made the call out a bit. I think you get a lot of value because you're playing a brawl composition here. Both these teams are playing a flyer brawl, right? So they're playing really tight. They're playing, you know, maybe the Hela goes for a big flank. And you're getting value. And yeah, there it is. Speedy's going to swap to Iron Man. They've had enough. I think they've had enough there. But ZP asked, you know, surely they don't have to go to Terra again. And they do. And the well of Terra is extremely deep, it seems, right now for 100 Thieves. It's continuing to just get picks that they need, get those neutral picks, gets a lot of value as well with the Goddess of Death. So now, 100 Thieves rounding the corner. Going to hold on to the Meteor M. But some saving graces there on second there.
All right, so Envy, the Iron Man response. A minute 45 left here for 100 Thieves to keep Yggdrasil path going to even up the series.
Thank you, Spaceman, for your 3 subs.
What is needed. And we got the 3 subs on it. His bucket is called, but speedily right now, the pulse cannon, good to go. The ult building is over. Where will the cannon be shot? Envy right now, being patient. Both teams playing in the neutrals. 100 Thieves, they pray to the altar of terror once more and pray for deliverance that can only come in from Hela in the moment. But it's a little bit of a waiting game right now for that divine answer of Ast.
Well, both Ironmen just playing the little bit chisel, playing some ice chiseling there, getting rid of the terrain for a bit. As the poke, I mean, for Envy, they're not necessarily pressured to commit right now. They have the time bank advantage. They know they have lots of ults to continue to build here. As Delena going really deep on the off angle has to be saved.
Going up, and it's time. Pulse cannon drops in the middle. No, not going to get what he wants. Meanwhile, Envy, Meteor M out from window. As Cal finds the opportunity, takes down Terra. Terra will not be the deliverance this time for 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves still investing. Vinny up to the eye, going for the Meteor M, connects, hits 2. It's a big 2-piece for Vinny, and that keeps 100 Thieves in the fight and may let them extend out this map.
And there's no ults left for Envy here. They might get the Sonic Seduction for Kaluj. They maybe keep them in. Cal's going to be coming back with the Goddess of Death. So they have some options to try to delay a bit longer here. All the shields being used to try to deny the value just a bit. Speedily coming back on the Wolverine here, ZP. Looking for maybe a last-minute Hail Mary here.
Terra, though, saying no way. Goes into the eye. Sky, Goddess of Death, ready to go. Takes down Month. Cal, though, got SJP down at the same time. Both teams down a strategist here. Cal, Goddess of Death soon to fade. Trying to get one more hit and goes into the backline. Gets Delena. The mid-air shot up and over and brings Month back into the fight with the passive. Envy for now, holding on. 1 second left to go. And that is going to be it.
Wow.
Envy taking Yggdrasil path up 2-0 now over 100 Thieves.
And Thug, nasty. Thank you so much for the prime as well. And I really just have to highlight again just how good Cal has been on the Hela. And we've known this. Like, this is not new information. Like, Cal just continues to be such a difference maker for this team. And I love the heads up swap for Speedily. Like, Envy looking extremely flexible, looking really good across the board. The setups are great. And 100 Thieves just struggling a bit here, I think. I think it's clear that there's a lot of star power on this team. You're seeing, plenty of ability to finish limbs, to set up fights. But I mean, just look at Cal comparatively. 15 final hits. I mean, not ignore the damage numbers, just 15 final hits in general.
It's a lot of final hits. There's no other way of talking about it. And, you also got to give it to Envy here for their hero versatility, where, again, I'll go back to the question that Puckett asked, what can Speedily play? And the answer so far seems to be everything. Speedily can do it all.
If it does damage, I'll play it. Speedily dishing it out on the other side. TTK, great game. 20 kills. You had 6 final blows, 30,000 damage, 54,000 damage blocked. It's not enough. Who do we need to see more out of on the 100 Thieves side of Vast? Is there an individual or a role issue right now?
I mean, honestly, I do think, like, you look at Terra and Delena, like, they're both still putting up some numbers. I think Delena's still being a little quiet so far in the series, but across the board, I don't think this is a skill issue. This is not like a players falling behind issue. It's just currently, it doesn't feel like they're playing, I would say, like I said, season 2.0. They don't feel like they're playing season 2.0 right now. Like, Envy feels like they are. They feel like they're playing, like, relatively consistently across the board. It seems like they're definitely getting the most value they can out of the Emma Frost and being super aggressive there. It just seems like 100 Thieves are a little bit behind of getting the max value now the meta has swapped up a bit.
Everyone is still feeling things out. There's a big tournament on Saturday that both of these squads would probably like to get ready for. We have a fantastic showdown thanks to our friend Shroud. It's the Shroud Gauntlet. 8 pros, 1 Shroud stream, May 17th, produced by some of your favorite human beings. You may be watching a few of them, especially the guy with glasses on the far right. Totally might maybe be involved. He knows the teams, guys. He can tell us the teams. He just won't until we all bully him or tickle him or send him key lime pies. What makes you happy these days, ZP?
I mean, look, Puckett, a lot of, my weaknesses, especially when it comes to food and drink. I mean, the reality is that if I was over your house right now where you've been testing out the grill, you give me the break and, maybe 1.5 steaks, if that.
Ribeyes will be grilled up in seconds. All right, we take a look at some of these highlights. Cal was dishing out the headies. Delena doing it as well. Namor, he used to be everyone's favorite go-to character. Kind of got pushed out of the game early.
Yeah, Namor not is prominent. I mean, Envy tried to make it work initially there. and I still think it probably could have, but they decided to just stop committing immediately and just go for that Storm pick. And Namor definitely just not quite as strong, not having those slowing squids, not having the monster spawn there with the team of the Luna Snow. Still a very good pick, but not nearly as much of a, oh, like this is a triple S tier pick,
Right. And we didn't see any Storm last week. That was one of 5 characters. We still haven't seen Squirrel Girl, but I can now officially check off Storm from our list. We're looking for a Squirrel Girl. We're looking for a Moon Knight, a Thor potentially from North America. We got work to do.
I think the problem with why you don't see a whole lot of Squirrel Girl is that at the end of it, when you have a character whose main archetype is a lot of spam damage, you are inherently feeding the other team a massive amount of
looks good from Hella right here.
And strategist-wise, you just can't have that. So that's why Squirrel Girl can just kind of hurt you in return.
All right, too much ultimates for the backline. The strategists are kings. We keep this rolling straight into a game 3. If there isn't a decided winner by then, aka if 100 Thieves wins, we will go to a commercial break. So chat, lock in. This is going to be a good one. We're going to the hall. We can play all kinds of different comps on this one. Avast, do you want to go poke? Do you want to go bully brawler? What are we thinking here for the hall?
I mean, typically we've seen Human Torch get played. We've seen, Hela, Punisher, even some Wolverine, Iron Man. It's a little wide open because of how strong, how big this map. We've even seen Iron Fist, right? Honestly, this is a relatively open map in terms of like what teams want to play. Realistically, I mean, this is going to be 100 Thieves kind of deciding again. Like, I would love to see them try to play something a little bit new. It doesn't feel like, once again, that they're playing anything that's different. Maybe they try to finally bust out the Human Torch, try to protect that or something, but they've typically just been removing that. So maybe it seems that they're not comfortable at all. Because, like, okay, so there's no Human Torch. What does it take you to? Let's try to utilize, like, the Iron Man again, because I feel like there was something there. There's also been almost no Psylocke being played, like, whatsoever, as Puckett's house or someone's crashes, like, in
that's my bad. I'm just knocking shit over. So I have the list. Squirrel Girl, Moon Knight, Thor, Storm now checked off. Mr. Fantastic was the missing one. I couldn't put it together. Who was it?
They're not coming in.
He doesn't
Mr.
live
Fantastic
up to the name.
is not coming in. Yeah, he's not. We're not going to see him. Unfortunately.
We got some interesting questions from Pengy57. Puckett, do you squirt Heinz ketchup on your hot dog? Yes, I do. We jump in to Envy versus 100 Thieves. The bands are coming out. Fresh ZP and Iron Fist will not be played against Kalush today.
No. Iron Fist is immediately taken out. And also, I think for 100 Thieves, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit and say, I think you kind of do the draft from last game, if you can. I actually think it wasn't that bad for them, and the reality was the last map kind of came down to 1 or 2 fights, and realistically, I think you played the Hela better. When you look at what happened in the Hela matchup, even as good as Cal was at the very end, as good as Cal was, Terra was the one that was continually making plays for 100 Thieves, and I think right now, if you're going, hey, Terra, we need you to make hero plays to keep us in it, I think you enjoy forcing it to be more of a Hela matchup, if at all possible.
Bam. Winter Soldier locked in. Enjoy it. It seems like they're just going to give Terra one of his fun toys in that first protect. And then on the other side, Envy is just going to say, hey, you like to run around on your Psylocke, right, new guy?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Envy loves to play a little Psylocke here, especially with Speedly on it. Looked really comfortable in the first map of Hell's Heaven. So, with Human Torch gone, Winter Soldier protected, I looked under Thieves and be like, okay, what can you remove from Envy, right? Or what can you at least, okay, Emma Frost. Guess what? Season 2 character. They're gone. I'm just saying, it's a repeating pattern here for 100 Thieves. Well, it feels like they're going to be a little bit more comfortable playing something that's just a bit more their style, a little old meta style, maybe than. So removing Emma Frost is always good because you remove the team up from the Psylocke, you remove Emma Frost yourself, and lock in the Groot. So I mean, this is it. This is like we're going back to vanilla. It's vanilla 100 Thieves. It's here. They're doing the reboot, the remaster.
I'm not mad. This is the style I like. Winter Soldier, a little group play. Get that flyboy out of here. ZP, what do you want to do if you're Envy?
Well, I think it's interesting for Envy because they're still going to run the Psylocke, and looks like they're going to run the Hela along with it. But the Psylocke won't be quite as overpowering because you've taken out the Emma. over on the 100 Thieves side. So I think 100 Thieves have kind of made the calculation, okay, actually, we're fine the deal with the Psylocke that you're almost certainly going to be playing from Speedily, but we're going to make sure that it's a little bit weaker. You're not going to have the team up. And I think in response, I mean, it could just be a Bucky helicomp that's coming in front of Thieves, and then you put Bucky, for the most part, on anti-Psylocke duty. And it could actually work out pretty well for 100 Thieves. I don't hate this composition.
Yeah, I just want to throw it out there. If the chat wants to officially sponsor Wardrobe, we will dress up in the dude's robes. We will, I think ZP is ready to dress like someone from Lord of the Rings. He's got hobbit feet. Avast, I look at you and I just think instant, like, elf king. What do you think about Paul?
That's so nice of you. That's so nice of you that he would say that. I could be a Celebrimbor type, but overall, Paul Jalia. I doubt we're going to see any elves here. Probably no orcs. I think more than likely
we're going to see a panther.
Call that.
There's a panther on this map.
There is. We're probably not going to see panther played. If anything, ZP is probably right on the money. It's going to be Groot. It's going to be Hela. It's going to be Bucky. Maybe a Psylocke. Oh, okay, they are going to try potentially put Delena back on the Psylocke here to mirror potentially. Obviously a little early to say for sure, but Delena didn't look extremely comfortable on it, but maybe just needs a second go around.
We got Envy playing Puckett's favorite hero in all of Rivals Fight Night, the Mantis. Puckett, what do you think?
0% win rate. Suck this L.
All right. Well, you heard it there from Puckett. Had to get that last little bit in because he is definitely the biggest fan of Mantis on planet Earth. We're getting into it here at Vast. 100 Thieves looking to take the map and extend the series. Envy, meanwhile, looking to book their ticket to fight against Shroud X for $1,000 and the potential of being the Rivals Fight Night champion.
And this is the one comp I kind of just overlooked here too, but it is a classic, is triple res, right? You're going to have Mantis, you're going to have Adam, you're going to have Star-Lord, so you have a very mobile comp. You have a lot of ability to put on a ton of damage early with the Mantis. Every 100 Thieves are going to have to play very, very careful to make sure they're not losing anyone early to picks. And Cal's on the Adam, so always hard to
but okay, they take down the Adam though in turn. He's gonna rest. He's gonna rest is the problem.
Yeah,
so it's unfortunately it's not quite as impactful in what we're seeing. Also, up the counter for Speedily and Heroes Play. Speedily now in the Star-Lord as Speedily's versatility hard to match. And in over the top after Blast Barrage finds Vinny. Delena though making a case, takes down 2 in turn. Perhaps not entirely over, even though Envy is working at an advantage right now, Vast.
And Galactic Legend is available here too, but Nero immediately down, Month down. The fight running really, really long here. I think even the Galactic Legend, the problem here is that Delena can just go invisible. Yeah, I can go invisible, block a lot of that damage, and now 100 Thieves is going to have the recontest here available. Vinny going to the Doctor Strange. I really like the aggression there from 100 Thieves. They made sure to just commit. And this Cloak and Dagger is a really good find. I like this a lot from Harvey because, okay, obviously Loki is off the field, but having some of the vulnerability, some of that power of Cloak and Dagger is something that's really powerful. Only Shikigami has been using it consistently.
Window looking to make his presence zone, drops a strangling prison, and the follow through is tremendous. 4 dead after Window setup. Stick a fork in this point. It's done. Envy takes the first point.
But I think a decent defense over 100 Thieves. Made sure to get the Galactic Legend out, got rid of Boundary, got rid of the Soul Resurgence, so a couple ults out of the way. They're gonna come to this next fight like looking relatively strong, relatively healthy across the board. Is Envy try to continue the offense here. And 100 Thieves is where you want the stabilization to happen, right? Because lose this fight now you're in a snowball situation. Envy gonna have a ton of ults in the bank. Oh, a lot of the pressure on the Speedily, but it doesn't go down.
Speedily gets real close to get taken out and does not. Instead, goes for a little bit ult building, dives into the back, Blaster Barrage, leaves, gets ready to set up for his Galactic Legend coming on in. 100 Thieves, meanwhile, would love to slow this down a bit. TTK got picked off early in the last fight, has Meteor M, and Meteor M, of course, will be popped in response to Galactic Legend. And where's it gonna go? TTK looking for a target here. Same as Collusion on the turn, Meteor M versus Meteor M, and both Meteors hit. No one is off the field. Invisible Boundary fading though, here for 100 Thieves. Vinny, Strangling Prison, good to go. Vinny gonna be looking for target, and the big hook in on the Window. Window brought into the blunder, and yet still alive. The support is there as Monk able to drop the Invisible Boundary, keeping it all alive. And meanwhile, Envy turned the fight, speedily able to get 1 on the Terra. Delena turning back in turn though with TTK and 100 Thieves in the chaos. For now, have control, but the Karmic Rebirth of Vast, the pressure, it's not gonna end.
What a good Karmic Rebirth there from Cal. Cal saw the fight happen, make sure to play really far back. And that's kind of thing about Karmic Rebirth is that it is a very powerful ult, But honestly, it's kind of a bait sometimes. I think Jake said it during EMEA is that, okay, now you're down a player who's trying to play really passive. So you really want situations where the fight has like broken down. You're not losing too much from losing that player who's playing very passive. And now 100 Thieves trying to set up another defense here. Speedily, yeah, another Galactic Legend has been farming them.
Check his PC. Check his PC.
And also, he just does enough poke to set up window for another 2 eliminations. Envy just rolling on through. Second point in their favor. A whole 4 minutes for third. They are going through Hall here with speed, Avast. And how the swap comes in, Delena has seen enough. Iron Man now going to be played.
They're doing it with Speedily as well. They're doing it with both. I mean, speed and speedily. They got it. They got it both in there. The really displeased coming out from ZP with that one is now Envy still trying to move forward, and they're gonna find an early pick. Yeah, window gonna get caught. Great find there. It's 100 Thieves looking to set up here on the corner.
I mean, when you get the pick on the group that early, you look at the movement going up between the two teams. 100 Thieves is like, all right, back it up, back it up. On the same note, you don't want to go so far forward that you give up a pick, but now more of a reset. You see Speedily going to the back, close to another Galactic Legend, nearly dies. Was super, super deep, but 100 Thieves, they got it near a completely full alt bank, and now they're gonna use it. Strangling Prison into Kraken Impact. Fall through though, may not be there. Clues drops Meteor M as a little bit of distraction. Cal takes down Delena at the same time. Envy for now withstanding, and now here comes Speedily into the back, dropping the Galactic Legend, looking for a pickoff wherever it may be, but for now, not finding anything here just yet. Galactic Legend is gonna fade. 100 Thieves still on the convoy.
But look at the bank. I mean, it's 100 Thieves. I mean, they need to rob some ults right now because currently they have nothing in the bank. Envy gonna walk on forward, try to set up anything here. They have the Strangling Prison, they have the Karmic Revival, and there it is.
Wait.
Strangling Prison, blocked?
Wait, did it hit a shield?
I think it hit a shield.
Yeah,
I'm almost certain that hit a shield.
Yeah, because otherwise it's like, where'd it go? So
I think it did.
Comes on in, right place, right time, negates the Strangling Prison. One up, all wise is 100 Thieves. TTK looking to seize the opportunity. Cluj down, and the Meteor M's huge, takes down 2. Good reset for 100 Thieves.
A little lucky, or perhaps a very good play. Well, maybe we won't know till we see the replay later because that happened so quickly. If that was just a really, really good block, came out from probably TTK just to block that Strangling Prison. We don't really know. We don't know yet, but Envy looking for the reset, still holding on to the Karmic Revival, close to a Soul Resurgence, close to another Galactic Legend. Speedily has had to have popped like 6 of these so far.
But what about the legend of not hitting your ult and just taking someone down the neutral? That's a legend of Speedily
really
I'm invested in right now. 100 Thieves down 1 here off the rip. Gonna have to drop the visible boundary. The buy time to get up to a full 6. Envy looking to take full advantage. Window getting real close to a Strangling Prison, but also real close to death as Delena's able to finish him off. Speedily though, Galactic Legend gonna be dropped here. Looking for some in the extra. Cal was able to bring back Window into the fight. 2 down from the Galactic Legend. Speedily looking for more. Envy pressing the advantage, and this may be it.
And just such good aggression there. The Strangling Prison gonna be used from Vinny, trying to find anyone, but unfortunately they haven't counter Strangling Prison. Even with the pick, it should be enough to get these picks. For Envy, yeah, it's exactly gonna be enough. What played a little tight to the chest. But Delena makes it back with the Goddess of Death. They do have the Guardian Shield keeping Terra alive on the point here for a long time. Delena could get enough picks.
Ooh.
Delena could do it.
Yeah, Delena got multiple picks. Now the respawns are coming back in for our Thieves. This one is not over yet, and now time is ticking down for Envy. 1 minute left, and that's not the Vinny Groot. That's the Vinny Captain America. That's probably about to get swapped back to the Groot in like 2 seconds.
I imagine, yes. Oh. Venom. Because swapping to the Venom here. I mean, luckily, he's going to keep that ult charge in between the swaps. So Venom here to keep maybe some of the pressure onto the backline here for Vinny when they come through the choke. Just set up the dive, set up the cellular corrosion. And Delena with a hero play and really good pocketing there from SJP, who continues to be just a standout strategist player for 100 Thieves. The Guardian Shield's keeping Terra alive, the Force Physics. And they have some ult here for this last fight, so we are now officially at last fight territory.
Galactic Legend opened here and answered by TTK, who has the Meteor M good to go. As we've disjointed time a little bit. We did a time skip back in the moment, but the Meteor M is dropped by TTK. No one taken down. Speedily still finding Vinny off the Galactic Legend towards the very end as Envy works with advantage. They don't touch. 100 Thieves doesn't touch while they still in 4.
Oh, Dormammu, Speedily, I've come to bargain. Let me touch the point, Speedily. We're doing some time skipping here. Perhaps we can go back and bargain with Speedily, the time god, yet again. Because I mean, that's just unfortunate. I mean, the Medium gets popped too, just trying to absorb the damage for Speedily. They back up, get walled off from Window. which is, you know, funny, aptly named Window getting the walls. We're gonna love this one. I mean, everyone's gonna love this one. We're just really coming up with some great ones here.
Yeah,
everyone's groaning in the chat.
You just got the pucket snort. I just want you to know that's.
And that's not a good sign. When I'm getting the dads, when the dads are sorting, it's not good. It's not.
Oh, you got me deep in the dad bod there.
Oh boy, oh boy. But okay, 100 Thieves not out of it yet. But when you could have drained the clock to 0, and you know, no one touches. It's not great, but still not out of it. We'll see what their attack is going to have in store. But Envy, they've set themselves pretty well here, Vast, for potentially 3-0ing 100 Thieves with this brand new roster that, you know, seemingly has been custom crafted to play.
Definitely. I mean, this is just... I mean, it's looking like an Envy masterclass currently. I mean, 100 Thieves looked pretty decent on the defense, honestly. So I like you just saw a couple more of those hero moments. They looked a little bit more comfortable. As Envy, they're looking to get a little troll with it. They're gonna have Kaluj pop the portals in spawn just to make it annoying to get out. Always fun.
I do enjoy how the portal tech has evolved. My favorite was VP earlier today, where you drop the portal to just deny the other portal. Yeah, just top tier evolution of strange portal gameplay. But for now, it's all quiet right now, Vast, as we set up right now. 30 seconds though off this attack already. 100 Thieves truly taking their time.
This is a really long setup. I mean, they were using Delena to like portal to like put TTK behind them, and now he's like back. A really, really long setup coming up for 100 Thieves. So, I mean, it's a minute off the clock just doing some fancy footwork of it. I mean, it's the Harlem Globetrotters of Hall of the Jolly offense.
A little bit of extra setup. We'll see if it pays off, and maybe Window getting pummeled early on, but the support is going to be there from Envy. They get Window healed up nice and okay, maybe not. Too much damage coming on in. He was healed back up, and then he was bursted right back down. Delena with 2, but it's a full team effort where this is vintage Delena here on the Hella. One pick after another. Again, that one with the aid of Vinny, and also going to be a very first attack for 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves, I mean, even with maybe some questionable rotations, worked out. Sometimes, you know, you're just going to like, it just felt like, you know, dribbled around the ball a bunch and then just dunk. Just gonna dunk on him, like really just up in your face, because Delena just gets those picks necessary. The aggression was great for 100 Thieves, so gonna have the Eternal Bond for Harvey. Already having under the crack and impact, and 100 Thieves, I mean, pretty just a very healthy bank in general. 5 ults on the board.
Early Galactic Legend here, gonna be dropped here by Speedily. Looking to mix things up. Force out the Meteor MTTK, drops it long, does not connect. But Speedily, Galactic Legend a little bit longer, able to take down TTK, was a little bit overexposed after the Meteor M. One up is Envy. And they're going to force out the invisible boundary for 100 Thieves, but it's a very defensive invisible boundary here, Vast. It's very far back for the convoy. Terra takes 1 step out and dies.
Yeah, and Envy, I mean, I was about to say, like, maybe, like, potentially an overinvestment, but it looks like they just wanted to really force out that invisible boundary from SJP, just trying to put the extra pressure on them to get, like, a pick, and SJP finally pressured enough by Window just popping the Strangling Prison. And now, that's what Envy exactly wanted when they committed the Galactic Legend, is they wanted to remove some strategy tools, they wanted to get some time off the bank, and now 100 Thieves needing to recontest, but down a really important strategy tool.
Speedily up over the top again, a constant menace on the Star-Lord, but okay, this is looking a little bit difficult for Kaluj. Kaluj has to drop the Meteor M as a defense maneuver and still gets taken down mid ult by Vinny. Down to Vanguard now is Envy, and the Karmic Rebirth going to be bringing Kaluj back up. We'll bring Speedily right back up in turn, but the momentum of the fight here on the convoy is all 100 Thieves at the moment. We'll see if the Rebirth can turn the tide. Strangling Prison coming out by Vinny, looking for the last bit of cleanup. Calvo able to take down Terra, and Envy not out of this fight yet. The Karmic Rebirth actually giving pretty significant value. Now the Strangling Prison in here from Window, but Delena does not care. Finds Cal, Vinny onto the counter group pick, and it's still all 100 Thieves here on the point.
Great old trades there for 100 Thieves, and Terra, I mean, committing, trying to get some value from the culling effect of the crack and impact just goes down, but 100 Thieves played it so excellently there, made sure to deny Speedily's value, and I really was about to say, like, okay, Envy, they're about to have a really good hold here, but 100 Thieves keep it going, gonna hold on to another Strangling Prison coming up, a Meteor M. They have a Wombo combo if they desire, and Envy with nothing in the bank at all, not a single thing for this recontest.
All right, Speedily back into action here. 40%. May as well be 100% with how things go. But Strangling Prison dropped here early from Vinny, and the fall through's there. Narrow immediately down as Under Thieves now working with an advantage. Narrow going to be brought back up, but while Narrow is down, they get Kalush, so the picks are still meaningful in flow of battle here in the fight. Speedily, desperately trying to build up the Galactic Legend. May not be able to get it before the team falls around, but Terra ends up falling. Terra mid-Kraken impact gets punished by Cal. Cal with 2. Cal actually going wild right now on the Warlock.
And so important too there, because Month, as they walk forward, manages to get the invisible boundary in time. Even off those picks from Vinny. Vinny going so aggressive, using the Strangling Prison early to try to isolate some of those picks. They got the vulnerability too on a Speedily just to force them off the angle, but they couldn't close fast enough for Under Thieves before Month builds the invisible boundary. And now Indy, they're in a really good situation. Sub 2 minutes on the bank for 100 Thieves. They have 4 ults on the board, soon to be 5. And 100 Thieves just struggling a bit to get through this. And this is one of the value, too, of just the triple res comp. You have a lot of fights. You have a lot of fights, and you can give picks. You can be so aggressive, knowing you have the extra sustain to bring someone back. As Speedily, he's in.
Yeah, and because there's no Meteor M, TTK didn't have it and just goes to the back and instantly takes down Strategist. Kalush drops his own Meteor M, takes down Terra. And Avast, not only is this fight likely over, but you look at the time, 100 Thieves, they are a minute 20 away from elimination.
You see, you get the pick, doesn't really matter. It's fine. Just bring back with the Cocoon. As Envy, gonna look to chase, gonna look to maybe, can they find a stagger? Can they find anything late? Looks like no, but that's just more time off the bank, more ult built for Envy. And 100 Thieves back against the wall now. A minute remaining. Strangling Prison's up. Goddess of Death, SJP with the invisible boundary, so they have some options. They just need something to happen.
Facing elimination, 100 Thieves need to make something happen. They need to make it happen fast. Vinny has Strangling Prison to go. Delana nearly dies in the neutral. TTK, though, able to build up the Meteor M. Terra, a little bit under pressure in turn. 100 Thieves moving forward. And now the time is here. Vinny dropping Strangling Prison. Delana finds Speedily and gets a fall through off the prison. Delana all over the kill feed. But the Karmic Rebirth going to be dropped here by Cal. Envy going to try and make it work here. Not give up second. Is Rebirth going to be effective this time? It's looking like no.
So once again, we talk about the double-edged sword that is Karmic Rebirth, right? Like, okay, you get everyone back alive, but everyone's kind of in a little hallway that you have to come back and touch the point. The one benefit there for him, besides just a time that was off the bank, is that last second test window does get rid of the invisible boundary of SJP, right? So like, just the fear from SJP, 100 Thieves are like, we can't risk it, we need to get the cap. So they do get that strategy ult out. So now you're gonna have some good options here to potentially just set up with the Galactic Legend in particular, just try to go really aggressive. That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Speedily opens here in the back. Galactic Legend. It is all ult on deck here for the Meteor M getting tossed out by Kalush at the same time. Terra gets caught in the crossfire. Galactic Legend over. Speedily though, farming towards his next 43%. Narrow though gets caught by TTK. And does not look like there's a Cocoon to bring it back. Oh, there is a Cocoon. Narrow is going to be brought back on up. Wait a little bit on that
There's
one,
always a Cocoon.
But is there going to be enough momentum here for 100 Thieves? And they get Kalush. Not going to be a Cocoon for that one, as 100 Thieves still has momentum in this fight. You take a look at Window. Window barely able to stay alive, still getting forced back. Builds up Strangling Prison while it actually takes on Vinny, who digs a little bit too deep.
Oh, and Vinny, I mean, such a disastrous pick there, too, because 100 Thieves could have kept the fight going here a bit more aggressively, forcing out the Strangling Prison. But now Envy get to hold it, right? We get to a last fight situation. They need some strategies soon, and SJP is going to have that invisible boundary. So Envy, they need to be aware. They need to be hopefully tracking those ults as they're trying to put a lot of pressure here onto Terra, who's made the swap to Strange.
Yeah, and he's going to have the Agamotto good to go. Final opportunity for 100 Thieves, looking to stave off elimination and extend the series. Envy looking to get their intro into the money match to face Shroud X. It's all come down to this. 10 seconds left to go. 100 Thieves looking for the opportunity. I have Agamotto. Do you have what it takes here, Terra? On the Vanguard swap, Galactic Legend popped over here by Speedily, looking for picks in the back. Harvey gonna drop the Eternal Bond. TTK has the first pick off the Meteor M. I have Agamotto still being retained. The pick is brought back via the Cocoon, or no, via the Karmic Rebirth. And now the Invisible Boundary gonna be dropped. Invisible Boundary keeping them alive. I have Agamotto finally gonna go. Hits 2. Narrow down off the Agamotto. Can you get Window 2? Vinny drops Strangling Prison right on after. Is the fall through going to be there? It is. Month goes down. TTK right there. The Vanguards of 100 Thieves leading the way as Delana sweeps the skies with the Goddess of Death. 100 Thieves not done yet.
And we're going the distance. Taking it all away here for Envy 100 Thieves. I mean, ZP, he's got to let him catch a breath, you know? Let him catch a breath. That's why he's the GOAT, you know? He belts it out there. And overall, I mean, you look at these teams here, much better showing for 100 Thieves. I like the triple Vanguard swap, also pretty interesting into kind of this res comp in general, because you're almost playing a triple duelist to a degree, because you do have both, like, you know, with an Adam Warlock and the Mantis, it's a lot of extra damage on the field. So even though it is strategist, you do, especially if someone like Cal on Adam Warlock, you're doing so much damage here. Just look at the stats too. I mean, it reflects that. I mean, look at the damage that Cal's putting out on a strategist. Like, pretty comparable. I mean, both the strategist picks, honestly. I mean, obviously not quite as much as the duelist, but not bad, all things considered.
You know what I got here? I feel like Puckett is just rubbing his hands here, being like, Mantis gonna lose? Mantis gonna lose?
I know, he's waiting. He's waiting.
Oh, he's
Suck
waiting.
it, Mantis. Hold the L.
He's got it ready to go. And also, I mean, when it's all said and done here, Vast, not really much of a tangible difference. 1 minute to a minute and 6 seconds. Effectively even as we head into extra rounds here. Either team's game, and at this point, it's also really a little bit volatile, right? Because you're not guaranteed to have your first attack work, especially on this map. Both teams did have really good first attacks back in their first offense, so it could be long overtime versus overtime, or could end rather unceremoniously. But because they're a little bit behind in time, it is going to be 100 Thieves on the attack first. We'll see what they got.
Probably can't do anything too fancy this time around. Not going to be doing anything crazy with the portal. So instead, just walking straight up main. Going to take this very aggressive fight. Envy not making any swaps. They do have a very, very strong front line. Knowing that they do have the Winter Soldier, they have something to potentially just find a hook. Envy walking back in.
Vinny and TTK getting very, very low there off the beginning. But now, 100 Thieves have healed back up. They're going in for attempt number 2, and they nearly got the pick on the Kalush. Kalush, super, super low right now, but they're not able to finish off. However, the walls coming out from Vinny look absolutely beautiful. Sets up Delina for 2. And 100 Thieves, the perfect opening here at Vest. 2 quick pickoffs with the wall control from Vinny. They're gonna get this going.
Knew we were going to get the cocoon, but Envy unlikely to recontest this, considering that obviously down players. Not very worth it, especially with the cap, also with the point being capped, of course. So Envy, send them here for their next fight. Hold on to the Invisible Boundary, hold on to the Galactic Legend. And for 100 Thieves, this is where they have to really be aware of the pressure from Speedily, where they're going to look to try to just set him up, put him on the offense with a Guardian Shield, get some ults, ideally out of 100 Thieves. That's Envy's game plan here. So they need to get something out of them, either from Speedily or just from the neutral. 100 Thieves walking forward aggressively.
And it forces out the Eternal Bond. However, he also gets immediately sniped out of the sky. Delina says this is a no-fly zone. Stops the Legend in his tracks. However, Kalush's Meteor M takes down Delina. Terra responding. Kraken Impact finds Nero early here. Resets may end here and now, though. Both teams a little bit wounded. TTK
interrupted.
Meteor M of his own. Ivagomoto. Karmic Rebirth gonna be dropped here by Cal, and that's gonna keep Envy in the fight of Vast.
What a hook from Terra. Interrupted the Strangling Prison from window. They didn't get Strangling Prison off. They didn't get the Strangling. The hook comes out from Terra there. Post Kraken Impact. And the well of Terra, it runs so deep. It might like, go through the other side of the earth.
Observers! Can we have it?
Can we go back and see it?
Very like Victorian child asking for porridge coded.
At the end.
Delina goes down. Cal getting the pick very early. So no Delina, no Goddess of Death. 100 Thieves with 5 players here, but Terra about to have a Kraken Impact, and Vinny so close to a Strangling Prison here, CP. They could have the combo.
Hey, we said back on the last map, do you pray the Terra when you need deliverance? The answer may be yes. Off the ult interrupt, off the soon-to-be Kraken Impact. Terra, can you be the hero once more? Great damage in the neutral coming out here from the Winter Soldier, and now dives on deep. Can he find the reset? 1 reset already here. 2, 3, Terra coming in clutch when 100 Thieves need it most.
And Delina makes it back there with the Strange Portal too, just to be behind them too when the Strangling Prison goes off. A little perfect moment there. You could really feel full body chills. It really felt like Avengers Endgame.
This was such a genius plan. You let them finish with 6 seconds, knowing you're going to get to attack first, push it all the way in overtime, and then full hold them. You're going to look amazing. Great plays. Great plays.
The intentional C9, the advantage we never saw coming. But right now, it's fair to say I don't think Envy saw this one coming. 100 Thieves staying alive, keeping the momentum on their side, keeping the convoy moving on forward. And we'll see where this one ends. Envy desperately trying to hold on. Galactic Legend dropped here by Speedily early into fight. Doesn't find much. Now it's going to be Monk having to drop the Invisible Boundary. Keep Envy in the secure spot. Window drop the Strangling Prison. The low results. Delina meanwhile hits 4. That's a 4-man Ivagomoto. And Terra is there to clean up. finds Nero right after. Envy taking serious damage in turn. Nero comes back up here, off the cocoon though. They're gonna drop the Mantis Soul Resurgence. Envy getting a little bit of overhealth, trying to stabilize here in the moment, but guess what? Here comes Terra. Kraken Impact has been used. Can Terra do it again? The answer is no. Envy able to find some stability, but that convoy of Vast went real far.
100 Thieves giving hope. Giving hope to the fans, giving hope to the team, wanting to see them to return to form. And I mean, what a good swap. Oh, I really thought the 4-man Ayavagamoto was going to do it, but Envy, the strategist, really good job peeling there. Everyone stays up even with Nero getting caught. And for Envy, this is still a really far distance to push on Hologelia. I mean, for a minute, this is a very, very far push. So it is not an easy push here that's going to be happening for Envy. And 100 Thieves off the offense there potentially saves them here in the series.
So 100 Thieves effectively, you stop and think about how this panned out. They get maybe about 4 or 5 fights, and all they need to do is win one of them to extend the series and force a 4th map. You gotta like those odds right now if you're a fan of 100 Thieves. And you also gotta like those odds if you are prepping your Mantis Slander immediately after this map.
Gotta like those odds if you're also esports betting, you know? Gotta like those odds too.
God forbid.
remember, do never stop gambling. All gamblers stop right before they're about to win big.
Look, the only gambling we do around here is channel points, where admittedly there have been some travesties in the channel points.
Big. Mike, are you in the chat tonight, Mike? He's living out in RV tonight.
Boy, oh boy. Well, we are getting into it. Envy, a tall order against them here and now. And we'll see if they're able to match one great offense with another. 100 Thieves, meanwhile, this could be the breath they need to keep the series going. And you gotta look at Terra right now. Vast has been the hero so many times so far tonight for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, a huge difference maker for 100 Thieves. And no swaps across for either squad, so keeping it pretty consistent across the board. As Envy just going up here from the high ground, looking to contest, take them off this initial high ground. They're just charging up, throwing tainted voltages that way as Envy making the long rotation, the March of the Envy over here.
As this could be the final game in this series, quick reminder, we are just 10 subs away from tonight's sub goal. We are 500 follows away from our follower goal. Help us reach these goals to unlock sponsors to pay our observers. We love you.
Pretty accurate.
Very
Pretty
important.
accurate across the board, but also 100 Thieves. The neutral game pressure has been ridiculous. Speedily finally says, we're running out of time. I got built some ult. And Envy, they drop the invisible boundary here on the point. Vinny, though, gets focused down between Speedily and Cal. They put Vinny in the ground. And now 100 Thieves down 1. Terra has a Kraken Impact. You have the invisible boundary. They're going to use it. They decide they want to fight here. Now the Kraken Impact. It strikes deep. Terra does it again, takes down Nero, looking for another reset, gets the other reset! Nero back in the fight off the cocoon, but Terra is renewed, reinvigorated, and still looking for more again and again. Speedily taken down, and another reset comes on in from Terra. Everything is going.
He keeps resetting.
Terra, he can't be stopped.
It's infinite. It's literally infinite. He's getting another. He can't stop. He's gonna get another. He's gonna get another, isn't he?
No way.
He's gonna get another. Here it comes.
He's so close.
Oh, it's over. It's over. He couldn't get it. He couldn't get it.
And finally, Terra goes down. Was that enough here? And the answer is no. Vinny swaps to the strange, drops the Eye of Agamotto into the abyss. And despite Terra having his back break, it's not enough. And Envy gets the convoy going here in overtime.
I mean, Terra just is a legend. I mean, realistically, Terra just does so much for 100 Thieves right now on the Winter Soldier. And I really like the commitment there for 100 Thieves. I mean, they could have just said, okay, we're going to reset. We're down 1. We have plenty of time in the bank. But they said, no, we're going to commit. We're going to drop the invisible boundary. Let's take the fight. And now Envy, they had to commit a lot of resources into first. They're in OT. They can't afford to get off cart at all. There's so much pressure on them just to stay near that objective. And so for 100 Thieves, with the Goddess of Death about to have another Kraken Impact for Terra, this is scary for Envy.
100 Thieves only need to win 1 fight, and they probably have about 3 left in the tank. 1 good neutral pickoff would be good, but fear him. The boss music arrives. Terra, Kraken Impact is charged and good to go. Terra, can you do it one more time? Can you do it? Galactic Legend can be opened up here by Speedily. Answered in turn by the invisible boundary. So for now, nothing too much going to happen. Kaluj, meanwhile, Meteor M into the abyss, doesn't get anything. Delina now going to the sky, dropping Goddess of Death bolts all over. And here comes Terra, cracking impact use. TTK got one with the Meteor M. Delina, death from above, raining as Terra gets a little bit of cleanup. And we are going to a map 4, 100 Thieves. They're not done yet.
We deserve it. We deserve it. The people deserve it. It's Hastro's birthday today, but he's going to have to wait to celebrate Envy. It's now your map choice, but first we get to revisit the highlights. Avast, you were nervous for 100 Thieves. I could hear it in your cast, but then you became confident. When did that flip?
I mean, when Terra started doing stuff like that, I think that's pretty much it. It's like, I feel like nothing has really, they haven't brought out anything new. They haven't brought out anything that's like, oh, I haven't seen this before. But when Terra just pulls out a Winter Soldier performance like that, I mean, here, sure, Delina and them, pretty equivalent final hits, but you look at the damage, and in general, typically Hela is going to be getting way more final limbs than a Winter Soldier. So the fact that they're equalized and the damage difference there, I mean, that's a pretty great performance overall. And 100 Thieves just making it work for them, just making like a comp, like, okay, this is our tried and true. We're going to get some value to this. We're going to go to the Well of Terra. We're going back to the old Terra cow. We're going to milk it dry. Like, we need more. Terra, please. We need some more Winter Soldier.
Can we talk about the six-figure club? All right, we've got 100,000 damage blocked by Vinny. We've got 100,000 damage healed by Harvey. Any other triple digits you guys see, or six figures? I'm told we have to keep it moving. All right, big numbers are coming in chat. Keep your eyes on it. We're going to start keeping track. We haven't had too many reach six figures on the show. Big moves by 100 Thieves keeps a minute, and we have our highlights rolling. Let's take a look at these while we do it. Big shout out to all of the subs. Spaceman with another gift. Max V Phantom gets us to 230 subs. And of course, we just saw one coming a moment ago. Shino Budakaki.
Hey, I gotta say one thing here, Puckett. You have not done the thing I expected you to do right away. Because guess what? This is the first map that Envy came in and played Mantis. And your Mantis slander, I mean, the floor is yours. Listen, what do you got to say?
Listen, I don't need to say it. I've been preaching it for 10 weeks. Make it 11 weeks now. Get her out of my game. I don't want to see her on my team. If she's on the enemy team, I'll take your SR for free. Get her out of my game. Let's save us all 15 minutes.
We love a good bit of Mantis slander, honestly. And realistically, I do think the triple res comp, I don't think it was a problem at all. Like, I think this was still pretty well played from Mimby.
No. Mantis sucks.
Oh, yeah. It's the Mantis. Yeah, that's right. It's the Mantis. But I do think for 100 Thieves, this was just a masterclass for them in terms of, like, 100, Terra and Delana just looking good across the board, right? Everything looked great for them. I do think just continuing a lot of value for their backline. And this is a comp they just look so comfortable on. But it worries me still for 100 Thieves, because I'm just worried about, like, as we get further and further, is like, is it possible to only play Winter Soldier and Hela on every map with their ban, if you just ban out the other picks? Like, can you just do that? Can you force this even with some of the changes? It's possible.
I feel like we haven't been talking a ton about the Magnetos in this series. I'm keeping my eyes on this TTK versus Kaluj battle, chat. Don't think I forgot about it. We're up over 1,500 viewers over on twitch.tv. On YouTube, we still are climbing. And we're also live on a number of our casters' personal Twitter channels. If you guys didn't know, we put our little lower thirds in it. You can follow us on social media. You can support us there, or you can just show up every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern. We start with Europe, NA immediately following after. And yes, Shroud X are playing tonight. They're waiting in your championship match for North America. They will play the winner of this series. 100 Thieves not done yet, trying to force the reverse sweep.
Also, I just love how long the highlights are here, where the highlights here way longer than the norm, because we just had a way longer map than the norm. I mean, that's about as long as a Marvel Rivals map gets, but dear Lord, it was entertaining on both sides, pure and simple, but you got to give it up for Terra and just some of the ridiculous Winter Soldier highlights we just got.
Yeah, do your friends a favor. If they missed tonight's broadcast live, find our YouTube channel, Rivals Fight Night, hit the sub button, and send them this link. They're going to want to see that game 3. We're going to a break. The players need to pee. Our observers are allowed to eat once tonight. Don't go anywhere or you'll miss plays like this. The big purple ball flying over the shell. It lands on the tiny dancer. Or does it? Yeah, actually took out a Magneto as well. What a shot. Well done, guys. Keep it going. Welcome back to Rivals Fight Night, where chaos is king. And we're men with hula hoops on the back of their robe. climb stairs on their way to a giant circle defended by a woman with flashy blue fingernails. We got a Vast and ZP on the mic. I'm your host, Chris Puckett, and we are partying because it is a game 4. Tara said, we ain't done yet. We pushed it into overtime. They almost got 6 points. But now it's Envy's choice of map, and Avast, the chat's starting to turn on Envy. They're already saying, Window's shattered. He's broken. It's going to be 100 Thieves and Vinny walking away with the dub tonight.
I'm liking the wordplay in chat. So far, we're gonna keep it up. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it getting advanced. Now we can do algebra next. We'll turn it into a learning situation. But overall, for Symbiotic Surface, I mean, it definitely puts a lot of pressure on Envy. I think because this is another map where, you know, Hela's pretty good here. You can make the Winter Soldier work. You could try to just continue to force this composition. So for Envy, it comes a question of, okay, do you just want to try to potentially force more of these pocket picks out for 100 Thieves, right? Do you want to try to potentially target the Winter Soldier? You want to potentially target Hela again? I don't think you really need to target Hela considering you're fine to put Cal on it, but maybe Winter Soldier.
Yeah, you ban Winter Soldier, he busts out the Wolverine, but the Wolverine doesn't have the claws that he did at the end of 1.5. Trying to think of what else is in Tara's arsenal, because it was Punisher. It was, he can play any flying character. He can play Wolverine. He can play Winter Soldier. I feel like shutting down Tara might not be an option. Do you get Vinny off of the Groot, though? Because I feel like when we saw the big plays on that push, it was Vinny completely walling off Kaluge or taking out just a Vanguard or two.
I think there is some wisdom to the idea that you could ban Groot and make things a little bit difficult for 100 Thieves, because when you think about the front lines that they like to run, they do really clutch on the Groot more than anything else. They have way more versatility in their duelist line. I think they have way more versatility in their strategist line. So yeah, I think if you're Envy, maybe you give it a shot, but also Envy-wise, they don't want to deal with an Iron Fist. I think they find it very annoying, and as a result, they give 100 Thieves some good protects that they could come out with here. Although, again, I think they may protect the Bucky, given what happened in the last game, because if you're Envy, I think you take out the Bucky if you get the chance. You don't want Tara to do that again. And now,
does Winter Soldier cancel out a Psylocke Avast?
Not
or does Psylocke have the edge over Winter Soldier? Because I feel like Punisher, Psylocke's just whooping my ass.
I think it depends on the comp. Honestly, it depends on the comp, depends on the map of it. But realistically, no, it's not like a complete counter. Psylocke is still pretty mobile. It's kind of hard to have a complete and total counter to Psylocke to a degree. I do think if you're playing Flyers, or if you have the Namor, those are all pretty decent into Psylocke, but obviously those aren't going to be on the field necessarily. So Psylocke could still get played. You can still see Psylocke get played a lot, especially because Envy has shown that they really like to play Psylocke, obviously. And okay, protection this time on the Loki, which I think was actually a pretty interesting ban for the previous series for 100 Thieves, or the previous map, because they made sure to remove the Loki. They're like, okay, we do not want to have anyone playing the Loki.
Now you have to ban Luna, or they go with Adam here. So we're gonna see multiple fates of both worlds. A lot of dancing. It's like 24 seconds of invulnerability. If you don't play this game a lot, the Luna ultimate is the one that just pauses a team fight, right? It gives your team the edge. When you have the Loki, you copy that and you just keep the dance party going over and over. An Invisible Woman now out of the mix means that's probably going to be on both teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is right now. I mean, Loki Luna is probably the strongest strategist combo that we've seen historically in Marvel Rivals, and it's that good for all the reasons you just say, Puckett, is that it will extend fights out a long period of time, but where teams can really make the difference is what you do when neither team is dancing, what happens at the end of the ult cycle, or what happens at the beginning when you're looking for picks in the neutral. But heading off the Symbiotic Surface, this is Envy's pick, and for the rest of the series, it will be their map pick, so they get 2 cracks at it to take the series away on home turf.
Avast, I'm looking at this with no Emma Frost. That means you get no Psylocke team up. That was the first protect from Envy. Are they kind of hard banking on Speedily to find success?
I mean, to a degree, I think they're always kind of hard banking on it if you're going to sign a new star duelist player, but typically, I think you can definitely still trust in Cal to get the big moments for them. And, we've been tracking in general, just like how the rest of these teams do. Nero consistently finding a lot of value and finding picks of their own, and you still have a very strong front line. So I don't think you really necessarily need one player to be the backbone for Envy right now. Comparatively for 100 Thieves, I do think this is a moment where, I think they're sharing the load a bit more, except for the last map where Tara, can make it happen. I do think that Envy maybe not as reliant on one player.
Taking a look, Vinny opening things up here, 400 Thieves, and to an extent, I do think going the Symbiotic Source is a little bit of a risk, just given how much Groot can do here and how Vinny at times is a bit of an artist and how the walls get set up. 100 Thieves moving forward on the attack, not going for anything ridiculous flank-wise here just yet. Delena, though, working to go a little bit off to the right. And Vinny, I think right now, that's just, letting the cooldowns reset, waiting to set up more walls.
You'd be exactly right. I mean, just going to try to wait it out, come back in, pressure the point here again. And the aim of the game is just
Audacious JJ with the sub.
Thank you, Audacious JJ with the sub. Well supporting the channel, but it's just more poke, and more poke, waiting for some ults to get built or maybe someone to get caught with a Groot wall.
It's gonna be some dancing that's coming up here. Although Terra, the super quick Kraken impact build, goes to the back. The wall to support it, and it's right before the Luna ult comes on in as poetry in motion here for 100 Thieves. Gonna get some resets here, courtesy of the Loki clones, and Terra looking for more, spacing it out, waiting for the Luna to stop dancing. Still has one more Kraken impact in the tank as 100 Thieves try and make the most out of this pick on the window, but the Luna dancing, the resets keep happening. Terra has spaced out properly again and again, and once more 100 Thieves off the combo play from Terra and Vinny likely have the point.
I mean, they just can't keep getting away with it. They can't keep getting away with it where they're just getting consistent value. And they're, this is what we talking about too, about Vinny also being such a strong group player and how, maybe when we make these swaps, these new metas, that do we lose some of that star power? And they're like, no, actually, we're not gonna update. We're just gonna refuse the update. We're gonna play more Groot. We're gonna keep playing Groot, and we're gonna keep Vinny on the Groot to continue to set up the value for Terra, to set up the value for Delena. And so that's gonna be the first point down. Double still on the bank here, and Envy looking to set up the recontest to make sure to deny 100 Thieves some of this early high ground potentially.
100 Thieves, I mean, getting through first point often can take a while, so making the first attack that efficient sets them off on a good thing. Oh my goodness, the pull in onto window, followed up by the wall, immediately down. Takes Terra with him, so it's not completely without merit. TTK though drops Meteor M in the back, finds Cow, Dance the Butterfly here from Speedily, tries to make something of it, only gets one before falling. Still a fight that Envy has the momentum, or that 100 Thieves has the momentum on.
Now 100 Thieves trying to chase after the Dance with the Butterfly for Delena. No one goes down though, but they can still potentially just chase forward, knowing there's no bulwarks. Looking for a wall, looking to find anyone. And 100 Thieves still keeping the momentum going. So well played for them currently. And we talked about that tracking between like Kaluj, TTK, the Magneto duel in chat earlier. Right now, I'm going to be honest, when it comes to purely Magneto, TTK might be on the better end of it currently. I do like Kaluj's flexibility, but Envy here, finally making it back in. Going to have 4 ults on the board.
Kraken impact, good to go here for Terra. You know how deadly that can be. Vinny hanging on the Strangling Prison window. Nowhere to be found here so far. And they're going to open Fate of Both Worlds.
Oh, no! What was the Strangling Prison from Vinny? I think he hit the wall, ZP!
I think he did too. It just did hit on point. Still, though, something that 100 Thieves may be able to work with despite the rough opening. Fate of Both Worlds being used here by both teams. And now, Terra, can you do it again? Can you fix the mistake? Well, guess what? You got the Strangling Prison used to ground you. That is one way to handle the Kraken impact. Window held that with Terra's name on it.
I mean, overall, that's just it's just a tragedy. I mean, realistically, a tragedy occurred with the Strangling Prison. Hit the lip of the wall. I'm not sure. Maybe they jumped on top of the cart there a little bit. A misclick, a missed input, potentially. But overall, now is Skyrim Gentrifier. Thank you for the prime. I wonder which faction. I wonder which faction they support. Are they a Dark Elf? Are they a Nord? I'm not too sure. But overall. Sleepy though, gonna find SJP.
You just go to the inn and you just replace like the pots with like golden pots. It's like, yeah, we need to class this place up a little bit, but either way, we're up and over.
If you have a better name than Skyrim Gentrifier, please stop on by Rivals Fight Night and drop a sub.
I bet they love the Dark Elves. They love the Dark Elves, 100%. That's for them.
Okay, Terra goes in and I went to the wrong side. I went to the logo there, and I put myself back in time for a second. So I'm caught up again. We're where we need to be.
ZP, I've come to bargain. Because 100 Thieves are here, still trying to push opposite Speedily. Again, finding the pick. And we've talked about Speedily a lot here on the Psylocke and just the value it brings. And we talked about how Envy, they're not really relying on anyone, but I mean, if Speedily just keeps on getting pick after pick, that's definitely something you can at least be consistent with.
TTK, Meteor M, not gonna get the values looking for. Speedily gets Harvey into the back, and yeah, I mean, Speedily continually just kind of hitting 100 Thieves where it hurts. Meteor M here for Cluj, looking to end this fight here and now. Only a minute 20 left to go. Meteor M is gonna get value. Looks like no. 100 Thieves though. Strategist ults are drained, and you got Speedily going into the back line with Dancing Butterfly, but Harvey was there. Gets the Strategist ult up in time, keeps them nice and alive. Strangling Prison out from window. Now being responded here with Vinny. Both prisons have been used. Both teams still at good HP. When will the dancing stop Terra? Here on the Strange. Eye of Agamotto good to go. Harvey is out of the fight. Terra, do you still try and salvage this here? You do. You drop the Eye of Agamotto. You hit. What a freeze. Speedily is involved. Do they get a fall through on it? No, the regen domain keeps everyone in a decent spot. They get narrow a little bit after, but 100 Thieves still trying to make it work. They get Cluj on the end, and it's actually kind of working out here at best.
It is, but they've had to invest just so much here, and Speedily still being a minute on the high ground, finally taken down as Envy needing to back it up, and even with some of the heroics, Envy just having to back on out. I think they're gonna have to give it here. Even if you manage to get a touch, you're just gonna be feeding ult charge here to 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves finally capping there, but a long time. Some heroics coming out. Great Eye of Agamotto from Terra too.
Game 5 is brewing, chat.
It is. It's definitely brewing. I mean, some chases happening, some final limbs, some staggers for 100 Thieves as well. Just gonna make sure to keep the momentum.
Yeah, and this is kind of catastrophic for Envy. It's a massive stagger. It's going to be giving up more room here on the third point, where usually you can really delay things a little bit more. So very, very tough situation to find yourself in right now for Envy. And to me, all eyes got to be on Window here. Window needs to not get hooked in and find a good prison on the rim.
Now 100 Thieves looking to set up 4 ults on the board. And Envy, they need to find a solution here, because right now, I mean, 100 Thieves, even though it's been kind of last minute at times, they're doing a really good job of getting value. And Delane in particular, even though he's been a little quiet, just continuing to sort of own the flanks at times. Is now getting the prison out.
It's kind of the big prison, and the fall through's even bigger from Terra. 4 off the Kraken impact, but it was Vinny that set the stage for Terra to clean on up. Envy, a full team wipe off the combo. And the convoy continues to move forward. Envy still has what they need, the recontest here. They're gonna recontesting here. Oh, they don't touch the wall from Vinny! Nick of time there, Vast.
No, and speedily pops the Dance of the Butterfly. And when you're ulting, that does not count as a contest. They even had Month go Jeff to try to get the bubbles out so they could make it out of spawn. It just wasn't fast enough. But really, the Wombo combo that came out from Vinny, just making sure, I mean, even investing TTK's Meteor, which I think was also a big reason why Terra was able to finish all those limbs as well. And the Strangling Prison, just really good heads-up awareness from the Vanguard line for 100 Thieves. And now, I mean, just look at Terra, bro. 10 final hits. Look at this guy.
And it was a team effort, though, because I think a lot of the key pickoffs were set up by Vinny. Not only the Wombo combo, but think back to the very first point where you just have the wall from Vinny that actually sets up the Kraken impact.
There was.
To take down Window.
Oh, there's the missed wall. That's. I know you're currently glazing Vinny right now, but there's the missed wall.
Okay.
So very unfortunate for Vinny. But you're right. You're definitely right. Vinny on the Groot putting up a really the OG Vinny performance. What we expect out of him on the Groot. And TTK continued to give also just a really good supportive role. The bulwarks have been great, following up there with the combo too. So really what you want to see out of the 100 Thieves frontline, which is when we talk about some of those most elite teams, in particular like teams like Virtus Pro, Sentinels, like you see like a frontline that enables so much to go on, is generating a lot of the limbs and damage on their own. And typically that has been 100 Thieves frontline, but they've been a little bit quieter recently. And I think this is finally a return to form.
Yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves that they've powered up over the course of the series, and again, if they do complete the reverse sweep, somewhere Puckett's gonna go and be like, well, you brought this on yourself when you played Mantis. Not because Mantis is bad per se, but
it's because she's bad. 0% win rate.
There you go. Either way, we're swapping sides here. We'll see what the 100 Thieves defense has in store. Envy on the attack, looking to prevent a map 5, still dreaming of that date later tonight versus Shroud X.
So now, Envy still looking to do the approach. No swaps across the board. Neutral fight. Is Envy trying to set up? Trying to play here a little bit on the flank, but these walls set up for Vinny. They can test from Terra. They're not going to let them in for free as the regeneration domain forced. So probably not going to try to commit now of this wave because he won't have anything to save anyone. That ability, especially getting that cooldown nerf, made it a little bit harder.
A little bit of mischief going on here. Gonna be a little bit of dancing coming in here from Harvey. And right now, I mean, you're okay with this for 100 Thieves. You love a longer fight here, even if you don't end up winning it. But for now, very winnable here. Both teams, though, gonna start a little bit of dancing. Vinny dropping the prison. Here comes Terra in on the combo. The fall through is gonna be there. Once again, 2 dead off the prison. And I gotta say here, Vest, it feels like Vinny has come alive. Great prisons, better wall setups over and over again right now for 100 Thieves.
Definitely. I mean, Vinny, it's been a player that you've looked at the past for 100 Thieves to ensure that they're getting a lot of value setting up the rest of the team. And he's definitely doing it right now. 100 Thieves committing the combo. Gonna hold off for now. 3 ults off the board. And Envy, they didn't commit anything there, right? Like, okay, let's try to like maybe use a God of Mischief, stay in the fight, force something out. So that's what Envy wanted. They wanted to get some ults out of 100 Thieves. This is their kind of their opening now. Knowing there's nothing huge on the field for them currently. If this is a failure in this moment, this offense doesn't go well, I mean, then it's a little bit troubling for Envy. I mean, 2 minutes left on the board.
Terra lives. Terra takes down speedily. I think it was a little bit on the flank. Punishes. Now Clue's going to try and make up for lost time here. Meteor M, guess what? Regen domain is everywhere. No one's getting dunked. However, you got Window investing in with the strangling prison. Cal now looking for the fall through to take down Loki. The counter Meteor M from TTK though comes on in, finds Cal. 100 Thieves handling this beautifully. The fate of both worlds coming in for SJP, keep people alive as Selena dances a dance of death into the back.
Game 5.
And another great wall too from Vinny to follow up. And you know, I talked about how TTK here on the Magneto sets up there. What a good find for TTK. And a really great region domain as well from Harvey, making sure that just no value gets found from Meteor M. One of the combos there to make sure, like, okay, while it's active, you're not going to be getting a limb. And Envy, come back in here with a minute remaining on the clock. They have a God of Mischief. They have a Dance of the Butterfly, speedily just not had the chance to use it yet. But the problem is you're walking into another one of the Vinny's strangling prisons. And you're just going to have to use a God of Mischief to keep everyone up just for that combo right there. By that time, 100 Thieves probably going to build some more.
Speedily, you have been the hero earlier in the series. Do you have it in you here once more? The dance is good to go. Doing a little bit of Psylocke poke here from the outskirts. Meanwhile, Vinny has a strangling prison. You have to work around that. Into the back we go. Dance the Butterfly running in the neutral, takes down Terra. Public enemy number 1 out of the fight for 100 Thieves. Off the assassination of Speedily. Doesn't even need to use the ult for it. Terra, gone. Seeing the Kraken impact over him, but Vinny, though, was able to punish Cal. I think he was strangling prison while that was coming on in. They're able to get 1 pick off. And now Dance the Butterfly going to be used here by Speedily, trying to keep things going as Cal picks off 1, but Selena picks off 1 in turn. It's getting a little bit scrappy right now, Vast.
Cal getting saved narrowly there by Nero. But a little bit deep almost, but gets saved. And Speedily just being the moment, being the hero here is Selena. Committing the Dance of the Butterfly, gonna go down, not gonna get a lot. And Envy finally, torturously getting this cap. And, you know, I said Envy doesn't need to rely on Speedily. It's okay. But actually, I mean, maybe they need to do a bit because that opening pick really, I mean, gave them the opening there because there was a chance they still might have turned it.
And it was so patient too, right? He's waiting for the Loki lamps and then the Luna ult. Then he finally gets his turn. Envy, don't win this map. The chat wants a game 5.
Puckett, agent of chaos. But he's not wrong. The chat absolutely wants a game 5. We'll see how this one goes. Clues, though, just drops some Meteor M. Does get too much from it. Window holding on to the strangling prison. 100 Thieves, tools that they're hanging on to right now, including the Kraken impact wombo combo. Window drop the prison here first. Harvey immediately down in turn. The fall through is good. Off Window's prison. And, oh, Vinny invests? Vinny drops the prison over and hit. I mean, TTK is able to get 1, but that's an interesting decision going in here for 100 Thieves. And Window ends up falling, and they're making it work a little bit here, Vest. More than expected while still down.
There are Cal, though, getting some cleanup picks. They keep the cart moving, and that was actually an insane reaction, strangling prison from Window. I mean, Window getting caught there, just immediately investing it, getting some picks out of 100 Thieves, and forcing them to commit for that fight further. And for Envy, that's not a terrible exchange. Get some cart time, get some ults out of 100 Thieves. As Selena's made the swap over to Doctor Strange. So not even see a counter.
Yo,
what
how does Groot use the internet?
I don't know the punch of this
he
joke.
logs on. Go ahead.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Well, okay. 2 picks here from Envy to kick things off. 100 Thieves already a bit of trouble. I mean, you got dancing here from Harvey. It's going to delay. And, okay, Vinny drops the prison again. And a fight that's only rough, but TTK gets the Meteor M. They invested all for the Vanguard Wombo combo, and it pays on off as Terra's now in on the magic. Versatility in spades for 100 Thieves, and gambling that actually works, Vast.
Well, you know what I say. You know what they say about gambling. Eventually, don't never stop. All gamblers eventually win big. And overall for 100 Thieves, I mean, I like the swaps in general because they went for a very fast recontest. They wanted to just force out some of those bulwarks from Kalush so they could set up the combo, and the combo works out perfectly. And now, Jelena, the only one with the ult there on 100 Thieves, it'll be a very, very strong bank. But I imagine for 100 Thieves, they're not going to try to give them too much breathing. They're going to try to go aggressive. Yeah, that's exactly right. Cancel.
Well, it got completely canceled. He got nothing from that. Meanwhile, Kalush goes, this is how it's done. And, okay, drops meteor M, doesn't get much. Dancing taking place right now for 100 Thieves, trying to keep in the fight. Speedily built into the back off the dance, finds Harvey. One up right now is Envy. Overtime in progress. Envy, if they want to avoid a map 5, they cannot fall in this fight. They're up 1 here so far. They're looking for TTK. TTK again low. Here comes Cal, cracking impact. Finishes off 2 with the execute. And Envy stays alive for now, Avast, but they have a long way to go, and they got no more margin for error.
In an OT situation, can't get off point, no ults, and you're having to deal with, I mean, the Dark Child's going to be available. You're going to have a Strangling Prison. There's going to be a lot of ults really up for 100 Thieves. They could even just play it slow, just wait for a traditional Meteor M combo. But no, Terra going to go early.
Dark Child it is.
They don't get
on in, and okay, a little bit problematic at the beginning, but recovery coming out of here from Terra as they try and make it work. And Vinny was able to get window in the middle of the chaos. Terra into the backline, finds another, and 100 Thieves. They are gonna stop Envy here and now. Not before they get to the point though, so a minute left here from Envy. A lot of time for 100 Thieves to force a map 5.
Yeah, I think I think they were kind of hoping they were going to get a contest there, because I don't even know if they necessarily wanted to stay on the Magic. Maybe they're just done it for the recontest and they were close to ult, but now they're kind of locked into it for the spawn hold. Not necessarily bad. As 100 Thieves playing very aggressively are on the doors. Envy, though, sub 1 minute remaining, so they have to be kind of careful.
Jelena just looking for the Eye of Agamotto that can end it. Vinny, so good at the Strangling Prisons here so far. Into the back, Jelena goes,
canceled
again. Again, the Agamotto gets absolutely stuffed in the back line. However, TTK says, that was a distraction. The Meteor M, that was the main course. I'm gonna force feed it to you.
However, I mean, the ults 100 Thieves, there's 20 seconds on the board. The cart is very close to the spawn. Speedily has to make sure not to go down. Gonna stay up. Envy, you're about to have 3, 4 ults on board here because this cart is so close to the spawn doors. There's plenty of time for Envy to go to the recontest.
10 seconds left here for MB, trying to prevent a map 5. Are they gonna be able to do it? Kalush back on his bread and butter. It's Kalush on Strange. You talk about retro for 100 Thieves. How about retro for Kalush? Walks on forward, ready to channel the power. Eye of Agamotto good to go. Tries to bait out some responses here. Hanging on the whole way through. Meanwhile, you got the Dark Child over and in, drops it, hits 3. It's a 3-man Eye of Agamotto, and Envy is there in the fall through. Takes down 2 here so far. Might be what they need to keep this one going, Avast.
Kalush making moves happen. Really good job with the bait too, keeping the levitate. But 100 Thieves, they don't want to give it up. They're committing them. They're making sure they commit more. Dance and Butterfly had to go out for Speedily just to finish up here on point. A little bit of a fear pop there, thinking like maybe we can stay in this fight a little bit longer. And a relatively expensive fight for Envy too. They had to, the fight just went for so long. And 100 Thieves, that's exactly what they wanted here. Because we're in this OT fight. They know they can just burn some ults out of Envy there, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. A lot of pressure currently onto Cal, onto Speedily to make sure, okay, can we find an early neutral pick? Maybe we can get a wall from window, just anything. Anything to just isolate someone early because there's just nothing in the bank. But Kalush, look at this. Portals on the doors. Portals on the doors, but they still have time. They have time, though. They definitely still have time. It just will put a little bit of a damper in it.
Groot sad. Groot in jail. Finally, Groot able to get back on out. Makes it so if Envy can win this fight, they will extend the series. However, you got to stay out of jail. And Vinny right now looking to put you in on any charge possible. The Strangling Prison ready to go. Walls at the back line, setting things up. Jelena ready to dance. And Vinny, when are you going to let this fly? Window. Gang poked on down. 100 Thieves still waiting. Strangling Prison going to come in. Is fall through going to be there? TTK, Meteor M, good to go. Terra gets cracking it back in time. And the fall through is going to be there. I hope you like map 5s here, Vast, because that is where we're going.
Final score,
100 Thieves, I mean, they can play. If there's one thing they can play, it is a Magneto Groot comp. That is something that they're feeling very, very comfortable with. And I loved the play from Vinny. You highlight him continuously there. And even at the end, making sure to just the position of a Vanguard in general can put pressure onto your strategist line, right? So he went for a really aggressive peek. He used some walls and he walks forward. And Nero's like, oh no, like, is he going for the Strangling Prison? Like right now? Like, is it time? And they put so much pressure on them where they feel the idea like, okay, we're getting hit. Vinny's really aggressive. Let's go for the pop. Let's pop the Fate of Both Worlds, and they don't have it for a later situation. Now, obviously, they're still gonna have the Wombo combo there. It's still like gonna typically burst through that healing, but very, very good positioning from Vinny.
Guys, that was so fun to watch. And towards the end, I saw a magic. That was the highlight of the day for me. But then I switched over. Terra MR is streaming right now. So if you want to watch one of the best duelists in North America's POV, you can hear just his comms. You don't hear the rest of his teammates, but he will be live streaming his run here on Rivals Fight Night. Want to give him a shout out. Also, it looks like he's grown 3 more inches on that mop of a mullet he's been growing. Well done. The dirtier you look, the better you play. It's a secret in the gaming universe of that us elders, we've been passing down to the youngsters.
Is that true? I don't know if that's true, but I mean I think it's hygiene is very important, players. Okay, so make sure to shower, brush your teeth.
I don't know.
I'm not saying that Vinny doesn't, but
we don't have to call it any names. I'm thinking about some of the legendary OWL apartment stories, and the reality is that some of the best players actually lived in toxic waste dumps. If you stop and think about it, it's true.
That's true, but that's behind the scenes. You don't see that in Perrin in the appearance. That's more so like you open up the door and you see
gamers sexy. You should date gamers. Gamers are clean and know how to shower. Going into a game 5, we got Envy versus 100 Thieves with Dace Cheskin coming in with the subscription. Thank you for your Prime. Remember, Amazon already has your money. Why not give some of it back to us through them by using your Prime? If you're getting free deliveries at your front door, like your grandma sends you 3 times a month, you can simply use your Prime. Avast, we're going into game 5. The chat wanted this. Can we watch the highlights again? Because we have a whole lot of Terra in here, but then you highlighted the sleepy one, speedily coming in with some fantastic dancing of the butterflies.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a great map for all the Duels players. For me, really, the name of the game here was, I think the 100 Thieves Vanguard line looked really, really good here. Minus that play, minus the wall strengthening prison that came from Vinny. I mean, TPK cool. ended up with I think he ended up with 16 final limbs in this, just because they were constantly setting up combos. So in general, this was a really good setups coming out from the 100 Thieves front line. So even though there's a lot of highlights coming out from the duelists for both these squads, I think there's a 100 Thieves Vanguard masterclass. Yeah,
they're always set up. You can see the Luna damage boost is there. We've got strangling prisons. We've got meteor M's falling on top of their heads. The combos come through, but it's Terra's screen that shines the brightest. Cal had a few highlights, but we didn't see anyone rocking the old school X-Men pants as well as Terra did.
No, not at all. And I mean, look, that look is a classic. It's vintage, as you might say, as 100 Thieves basically have been in the maps they have won. And to me, as I look at this, I think for Envy, you're on the verge of elimination now. You the verge of getting reverse sweeped. It used to be the I remix reverse sweep, and now it's just the Envy potentially getting reverse sweeped. And at some point, you have to look at what has 100 Thieves been doing really well at here. And yes, Terra's been a problem. Vinny's setup to all this on the Groot has been the biggest problem that Envy has had, bar none. I think you chop down the tree. I think you take a page out of Virtus Pro's book and you burn the forest down going into the next map.
Come on, ZP. You don't want to see more Groots in North America? I'm loving this Groot v Groot battle up front.
Hey, I'm loving it. It's just what you got to do if you want.
What is Window better at, though? If you remove the Groot, what do you want Window to flex over to? Because he's the new guy alongside Cluj, right?
I mean, kind of, yeah. I mean, I would say he's by far the newest amongst them. I do think also, okay, it's Hazard. Thank you for the Prime. Thank you for supporting the channel. The observers are going to be eating good tonight. We're going to give them a couple more grains of rice. But
asparagus?
Overall, yeah, maybe
potatoes.
Some asparagus with it. No meat, no proteins, though. But I think for Window, I don't really know his hero pool good enough to say what he potentially might play outside of the Groot. Realistically, he can play the Groot. I have a hard time believing he can't also potentially flex onto some of the other more traditional picks. The problem also is that when you have such a good Strange player, Doctor Strange player with Kaluj, it must feel kind of a bit of a pressure of surely will Window even play that if they're gonna make the swap? Would he play a more secondary tank? Maybe he plays an Emma Frost, but Cluj also plays that. So I'm not totally certain what what Window's hero pool is in complementary to Kaluj's necessarily. So it is kind of an interesting question.
We have not seen any Fireboy, and we will not, says 100 Thieves, the first band coming through. On the other side, Iron Fist.
It's gone!
No! They went with the group. By the way, we also hit our sub goal. Thank you very much, everybody. This is episode 11. All of our episodes are up on youtube.com/Rivals Fight Night. You can check out some of our action there. Max v Phantom challenging Golden Boy for the highest gifter over on Twitch. We're also live on YouTube and Twitter. Back to the bands. We see once again, Speedily is going to get his Psylocke protected. Now you'll probably see Terra get his Winter Soldier. That was kind of what I thought might happen here. Is the Winter Soldier as good without the group rooting everybody together, Avast?
It's still pretty good, but it definitely takes a hit. I mean, because depending on what 100 Thieves might play, they might even try to pull out like the OG, the 1.0, like a Doctor Strange, like Magneto composition with Emma Frost gone, with Groot gone. Like, it kind of feels that way potentially. So I do think like it's kind of an interesting look here. Can you make that work against teams that have played? It kind of worked, I think, back in the day because teams were not very good. You know, everyone's evolving continuously. There was a lot of like not very much split pushing. Envy masters of the split push. So if you don't have the group to kind of set that up, I don't know if the Winter Soldier is going to have as much impact.
Can NA play Venom, ZP? We saw Nevix, the best main tank on the planet, forced onto a Venom earlier.
And I can play it. They don't really like it that much. I mean, even going all the way back in the day, it was more of an EU thing. I don't know if we're necessarily going to see it, but there was a world where teams like Sentinels would run Venom all the time. So every now and then it rears its head in NA. I don't think we're going to necessarily see it here. Probably going to see more in the Magneto end of things here. You know, Magneto into Emma. Well, not Emma because Emma's banned. So the Magneto though, for sure.
Avast, you didn't miss it. You saw that sub, right?
I did. I saw the sub, and once again, you know, the observers were at another vegetable. One veggie per sub of the observers. They're going to be eating
asparagus,
real good.
we got potato. We will give you 3 pea pods, observers.
So it's going to be the Adam Warlock band too, as well from 100 Thieves. So they really don't want to play against the res comp into Envy. They want to see Cal on the Adam Warlock, and it's really a question of what does Envy want to get rid of? Like, I don't know, like a cap?
Captain. Yeah,
okay,
so they don't want to deal with some annoyingness. They know that Vinny doesn't have his Groot. He might take out his anger with a Captain America. Not happening, they say. Quick reminder, what is up next are NA Grand Finals. Who's playing in it? It's going to be Shroud X. They won in week 10. They will be playing the winner of Envy or 100 Thieves. So if you're just joining the stream, thanks for being here. Hit the follow button. Let's jump in to game number 5. The NA challenger is Burnin' T'Challa. On the mic for this one, we have Tempo ZP and Avast_O.
He's not wrong. Those are our Twitter handles, Avast, and he's got us dead to rights. Where you can, by the way, follow us on social media. That is how it works. But Burnin' T'Challa, we're ending here with domination, and Vinny doesn't get to end with the Groot here, Avast. So, gonna be a different look coming out from 100 Thieves if they want to complete the reverse sweep.
Yeah, very different look, which is why I'm like, I look at the bands. I'm like, are they just gonna pull out the OG? Like, are we just gonna play like Mag Doctor Strange? I really don't think it's gonna be happening. Yeah, it looks like maybe Vinny could be seeing a little bit of Venom play. It's much more likely to see Envy play that because Kaluj loves playing Strange. I mean, is the Strange player, right? Like, known for just busting it out. I wouldn't be shocked to see if 100 Thieves want to play a little bit more mobily, keep Vinny on that Venom, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. So it's going to be Kaluj back on a signature pick and Vinny moving over to the Venom.
It's going to be interesting because you get way less control for 100 Thieves relative to before. And in fact, Envy still gets pretty reasonable control again, that they're okay running double shield with the Strange and the Magneto. So see how Vinny makes this work where you've gone from basically playing a builder to, Cal just killed both supports. Both strategists dead. Okay, Cal, please calm down. It's over. Like, they're already dead.
I mean, Vinny literally, Vinny sat on top of the statue and just watched 3 people die. Like, there was like he didn't even get to go. Like, is it my turn? Do I get to play the game now? Or is it like, or you still have it? Like, your big brother still has the controller and it's like, okay, my turn. Like, come on. Like, I'll go. Like, I'll play next. It's like, no, after this level.
That's completely ridiculous, is what we just saw. So 100 Thieves, not the start they were looking for. Incredible neutral presence in from Envy, and Cal doesn't.
What are you supposed to do about this?
Die.
What are you gonna do about this? He's not missing.
Oh.
They are not missing. Cal is literally not missing. I mean, Delana is just taking a peek and immediately taken out. I mean, they're fearing him. He's in the trees. They're in the trees. They're hearing the sounds of Cal just all around them. Delana has, I mean, they swapped. Terra's gone Wolverine. They said Delana has swapped, but rather Terra has swapped. They said, like, okay, actually, we need to do something about this.
That's ridiculous. Everything about the opening of this has been ridiculous and completely cow-pilled. As we've seen here. Now, we got... Oh, okay. Vinny goes in, goes like, I will pressure him. No, Vinny, you will simply fall. Delina, though, does get one pick off in turn. 100 Thieves now gonna burn their bank. Meteor M in from TTK, grabbing one as Terra gets one off the dive. So, 100 Thieves striking a little bit deeply here, not getting dominated neutral for this fight. Envy, though, still delaying with Fate of Both Worlds, though. You'd think they would be okay just leaving and going for a reset.
Wait, they committed. Wait, Cal solo forced the God of Mischief and just got the God. They solo forced it. They literally solo forced that all. I mean, that's an insane find there from Envy. I mean, they did have to trade out their Fate of Both Worlds there. Maybe came out a little late, but that's a really good find so from Envy in that fight. And now this is where the Venom comp should be getting a lot more value, especially with the Wolverine for 100 Thieves, because you can control these chokes really aggressively. You shouldn't be letting them get any of these off angles, in particular Cal, or and even Speedily too on the Psylocke. So this is where 100 Thieves have to make sure there's not an easy find for Envy.
Well, again, the Gun Mischief being used here by Envy here early on, and okay, a little bit of dance coming in. Cal, though, under all sorts of pressure from Delina, returning some of the power in the neutral, but Speedily is there, makes it unfair fight, takes down Delina. Envy up one here so far. Harvey gets cut on down, and with 2 down, even with cool. Okay, TTK is actually making this a little bit more competitive. Takes down 2, has the Meteor M, but the healing is not necessarily there. It's just 100 Thieves getting forced off the point.
I'm sure they've gone the cap, but here comes the recontest, and SJP continues to be such a silent carry for 100 Thieves. Just what a good freeze onto Speedily. TTK going to the meteor fights too. Oh my dude. We talked about the debate earlier. Fuck it, we did, and I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to the Magneto, I think TTK is the controller gameplay is really, really good when it comes to Magneto.
And it's not just TTK there; it's also the teamwork to take down the regen domains before letting it fly. The timing from 100 Thieves there was absolutely sublime. And as a result, we're even things up here. But here comes Kalu. She's got an Eye of Agamotto, and that at times can be problematic for anyone on the opposing side.
And there isn't a bionic hook, you know, no instant cancels outside of maybe SJP, just gonna hit like a freeze. So there isn't a lot of options necessarily to deny it quite as much. As if he's going for the poke, looking to set up a lot of ults here on the board, is trying to find the kid up at Kaluge, but Bulwark's available.
Kaluge going to the sky, and if you're 100 Thieves, you know the eye is coming. It's just, what is the timing going to be? Kaluge getting forced on back, and 100 Thieves, they decide, go, go, go. We're diving on in. Envy responds to the Fate of Both Worlds of their own. Kaluge gonna drop it, only hits Terra off the Eye of Agamotto, and Terra's healed back up, so Eye of Agamotto not gonna get too much done. Vinny dropping his ult in turn. Window with the Meteor M. Speedily was able to take down Terra. One up right now is Envy. Cal goes to the sky, so is Delina. Into the back line we go. Speedily, dance to the butterfly, strikes deeply, gets both strategists, and surely this sets up Envy for the round.
Very expensive fight, though. I mean, 100 Thieves are going to have a contest potentially here with the Doctor Strange. There is an option here because the cap's just not going to happen. They still have some time to burn off the bank. So Envy, nothing here. And this is still a little scary depending on if they are able to keep eyes on Terra, because Terra's going to be looking for the flank, potentially just looking for the touch. Exactly what they're going to do. But Frozen gets the touch, stays alive.
Yeah, freeze is nice, but the follow through not there. 100 Thieves, they earn themselves in our fight. Delina and Cal both strike, but Cal gets into the back, deals with and also reses the strategist that got picked off to begin with. Way better exchanges here for Cal, gets SJP in the end. And Envy, at this point, 100 Thieves running out of time here in the first round in map 5. And Envy now 1 round away from the money match and the showdown with Shroud X.
And that's something we have not seen a lot of recently, is that team up with the Loki, with the Hela, and Cal just being the difference maker here for Envy. Getting that pick, and like you said, it was a much better exchange because they bring back their Loki. You know, Month comes back. And now for 100 Thieves, it's do or die, last round potentially for them. And Envy, I mean, the comp is looking great for them.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
All right.
I feel like the homework was done already for Shroud X. Okay, if I'm playing 100 Thieves, I ban out their Groot. If I'm playing against Envy, is there a star you gotta ban out?
I mean, I think Envy still looks really comfortable on the Psylocke. If you don't want to run Psylocke yourself or you feel not great about it, I think Psylocke is a perfectly reasonable ban. But also the two teams, I think Shroud X is more comfortable playing some of the newer threats like Torch than 100 Thieves seems to be. So I think it'll be a different series if it is Envy versus Shroud X.
Yeah, that is coming up after this. Winner will play Shroud X for $1,000. It's your Week 11 North American Championship. But right now, Challenger Final.
Also, another good ban here, ZP, is just, I don't think there's very many teams in North America could ever match Cal's Hella, you know? So a Hella ban could work pretty decently. You know, there's only like really two teams I would feel like are super targeted there, like 100 Thieves and Envy when it comes to Hella. But now,
Energy?
keeping our comp, yeah. But even still, I think I'd rather take the two potentially, even though I do think Energy is very, very good. But Envy, holding on to the same comp, no swaps across the board, except Vinny on the thing here. It might be a clobbering time.
Meanwhile, Kalush has Agamotto, gets abducted. How's the Kalush gonna do? Oh, Kalush is gonna die. Kalush immediately taken down. Terra making sure it happens. 100 Thieves at a big advantage in Envy. They decide to delay here. They're gonna go with Fate of Both Worlds, and oh, Loki goes down! Month went down after using the Olivast. Huge pick off here from 100 Thieves.
And it's a really interesting swap here with the thing as well on this point in particular, because okay, you're gonna be using those in battle leaps to give the damage reduction, but just get a slight nerf, you know, it's like 20%, 25%, I should say, of that damage reduction now. But just continuing to set up this really aggressive plays for Terra, getting pressure, and also because you're playing so much Brawl, you're getting cleave there with the right click. So Envy looking to recontest here, 4 ults in the bank. And for 100 Thieves, they're going to be looking to just fight really, really aggressively, letting Vinny and Terra just be kind of this 1-2 combo.
I think conversely, you look at Envy right now, you still gotta be having all eyes on Kalush. Staying up here at the Eye of Agamotto, 100 Thieves, they know it's coming, they're looking to play around it. And 100 Thieves right now, back a little bit, Kalush up into the sky, into the back line he goes, the Eye is gonna be channeled, it's dropped, and it's absolutely nothing! Kalush hits nothing, meanwhile Delena strikes, finds Cal, Terra punishing Window in turn. And with Kalush getting nothing, it's going to be so difficult for Envy to turn anything in this fight. They're down 3, and Vinny, he's a swinging.
I mean, this is actually a really heads-up swap for 100 Thieves, because they've made essentially a 2-man army. They're going to walk around, take very aggressive fights with their high health pool and their sustain, and then because their supports are so mobile, they can just place a split. If they're keeping the heads-up eye on Kalush, I mean, the Eye of Agamottos aren't going to get a ton of value here. And so Envy looking to recontest, not much in the bank. I mean, they'll get another Fate. They'll probably have both strategies. They'll probably get another Goddess of Death. But for 100 Thieves, they're going to just want to take another aggressive fight and just look to set up Terra again here with the, you know, with just the last stand.
If you're Envy, you're going to Cal and go, can we get some of the Terra magic? Can we get a pick in the neutral? No, you're good enough. Do what you did back on round 1. Get some free shots here on the Terra. Not the worst opening. Nearly gets the Wolverine pick. And now, if you're Envy, you gotta move quickly. 95% time running against you. The freeze from downtown puts some pressure on the Cal. Regen domain forced out. 100 Thieves in the neutral working really, really good. They force out the Fate of Both Worlds here from Narrow. And so far, looking very healthy in turn. They get their own fade up. SJP immediately pops it. And look at TTK, the hero so many times here on Magneto. About to get the Meteor M. Up and going. It's clobbering time from Vinny. I don't think Vinny hit anything. Vinny hits absolutely nothing at the clobbering time. Now TTK answering. Meteor M trying to take advantage. Also gets nothing. The Vanguard ults for 100 Thieves do not connect. Window punishes terrible. And here comes Envy. Kalush hits 2 with the Eye of Agamotto. And Envy, can they get the fall through speedily? It takes down SJP. And Envy might have done it to extend this out.
Maybe, but Delena finds Month late, so there's still a chance here for the recontest. However, then he goes down, Regen Domain out, so the stain not too strong here for 100 Thieves, and I think this should slowly be the closeout now with Delena going down. Don't have to worry about those picks. And 100 Thieves taking Envy to the brink here, and now Envy has to play perfectly. We've been in this situation before, where you're just on domination, you're just like, okay, I need to make sure, like, let's remove all the ults from Envy rather. They can play, they don't have to worry about playing perfectly as already. Window getting caught, has the Meteor M to get out.
Yeah, not the greatest here from Window. Meteor M though would be a great clapback if it hit. Does not hit though. 100 Thieves back out. Need one more fight to force the ultimate round here on the final map. Envy, meanwhile, holding back. Nero can extend the fight out here. Fate of Both Worlds likely going to be used here early. Terra gets his passive popped. Nearly goes down. And now, as the last stand ready to go, 100 Thieves still looking here in the setup. Here we go, Vinny drops up and over. You get the dance of the butterfly in from Speedily, trying to get anything, just forces out SJP, but that's a massive eye of Agamotto for Kaluj. Redemption, 5 people stunned, 2 immediately down, and feast or famine right now for Kaluj.
Under Thieves still committing ults here, though. I mean, it was a 5-man collaborating time going out from Vinny, but unfortunately, they didn't have the damage. They didn't have the sustain. A little bit of an overcommit. 100 Thieves, what would have been potentially the opening they need, but wait. Kaluj, frozen, caught. They need to save him. They can't.
Uh-oh, 100 Thieves here, off of the stagger. TTK comes in, drops the Meteor M, does not hit. However, with the pickoff on the Kaluj, now a window of opportunity opening here for 100 Thieves. 72%, trying to extend out the series. Envy, 25% away. Delina able to chase down Cal. 100 Thieves now making this work. They sense blood in the water. Fate of both worlds gonna use as they rush over in the Envy. Envy having the strategist all of themselves. Speedily though, getting super, super low here. Look at Speedily here in the left, does get healed just in the nick of time. Envy desperately trying to restabilize 100 Thieves. Their dancing is about to come to an end, and Window could do it. Could end 100 Thieves here and put Envy into the money match. The Meteor M is ready. So is the Dance of the Butterfly. Terra poking here to the back. Last stand. Good to go. Window, though, still prodding. Kaluj going for a little bit of ride. The last stand is ready. Forces out the regen domain. Delina, though, meanwhile, finish off Kaluj. Kaluj dead. Delina to the sky. And what is going to happen here, Delina? Looking for the shots. 100 Thieves, 99 to 99. Window, though, Meteor M is huge. Backed up by the Dance of Butterfly. Envy, this could be it. 100 Thieves on the ropes. TTK low. Terra low. Vinny about to fall, but Delina still fighting fine speedily. Delina gets another and reses up Harvey. This is not over yet.
Envy now in a last-ditch situation. They do have the Eye of Agamotto, but SJP continuing to hold on to the Fate of Both Worlds, so they have an option to stay alive for a little bit longer. There's no combo yet. TTK, though, hold on to the Meteor. They're going to commit the Fate of Both Worlds, and right now, ZP, I mean, it's just a dance. Can Kaluj set up this Eye of Agamotto? Can they set up the fight?
He's going on in, Kaluj. First one was 0. Last one was 5. What's this one going to be? Dives on over.
0.
0 again for Kaluj. Does not connect. Meanwhile, Vinny goes up and over, hits 2, speedily dead from the Eye of Agamotto stun. Delina on the finish. 1 down now here from Envy. Muff continuing the dance. And is it going to be enough? Terra off over, able to dive, get Kaluj. 100 Thieves trying to take control of the fight. Can they force the final round? They might have just done it.
It's long. It's taken a long time, but the OT spawns are high. No one's coming back. No ults on the board for Envy. And 100 Thieves, I mean, they've taken us to finally, I mean, this is going to be the last round of this, and it's going to be an absolute banger. I mean, Kaluj just trying to play that dance for so long, trying to set up the Eye of Agamotto, completely countered the bulwark, saved there from TTK, just denying any of the value.
One of the best dominations we've had on Rival Fight Nights, and you are all in store for a whole nother match after this is the NA Challenger match here, week 11. Fight Night, Envy, 100 Thieves, final round. Winner plays for $1,000 next.
And also at stake, if 100 Thieves is able to take this round, this would be the reverse sweep of Ast. They would have brought themselves back from the brink where Envy looked dominant, taking the first 2 maps. We could sing nothing but praises of the new Envy roster. But in this case, you wonder, do you have to teach an old dog new tricks? And the answer may be no. 100 Thieves winning a lot of this, more old school style.
No, it's not.
No.
It's gonna be bubbles for speed, unfortunately.
You won't,
get there.
Coward.
They will not. They will not. No real swaps across the board. But however, 100 Thieves looking like they actually want to roll out with TTK here on the Doctor Strange early now. So they made a bit of a swap. Vinny going to the Magneto. So they want to mirror here. They want to have the Doctor Strange. They want to have, which makes a lot of sense because you can block a lot of the sight lines here. You can be really aggressive up to the high ground, get some value. The Eye of Agamotto really good into the chokes here, but definitely a bit of a change up here for 100 Thieves. Something we have not seen in a long time.
Also right now, just seeing the Hella versus Hella battle, both respecting each other a little bit, neither full committing. And now, both teams trading out in the neutral game right now. Window going to open up here with an early Meteor M. Kaluj got Terra down early. Meteor M forces the rest of 100 Thieves back. So Envy going to get first control of the point here. Speedily looking to make it a little bit more devastating. Drops the Dance of Butterfly. Hasn't got anything else with it as SJP counters with Fate of Both Worlds. Delina, meanwhile, into the sky. Dropping damage from Hella from above. 100 Thieves, they feel this is winnable. They're going to drop another dance here from Harvey as they rush into Envy. TTK, Eye of Agamotto. It only hits Cal in the back. That's all they get. Kaluj, meanwhile, drops his eye and gets nothing. Not great if you're here for Agamotto. Meanwhile, Terra, last stand into the back. That's enough to take down Kaluj. And now 100 Thieves up 1, moving forward to Envy, starting to push Envy off the point speedily. Goes though and gets Harvey into the back. 2 down here as Envy still maintaining control.
Speedily making so much happen here too, just getting those aura heals away from the idle aura. And despite Kalush going down, 100 Thieves losing those strategies, losing the sustain, and Envy, they get to stay here in this fight and Speedily making a gigantic heads up play. So 50% in the bank now for Envy. 100 Thieves, I mean, they are definitely fighting for their tournament life. Obviously, both these squads trying to make it to the finals and would be a legendary reverse sweep. 2 Meteoriums out on the field, nothing much else, but they have to be worried because Speedily's farmed up another Dance to the Butterfly here. There's no strategy ults for 100 Thieves.
If Speedily has been ult tracking well, this could be as free gets. 100 Thieves running out of time. They've come so far, but may fall here at the finish line. Meanwhile, Envy trying to stay alive. They can't! Kalush cannot get away. The focus fire, good enough. Sets up 100 Thieves. Up 1. TTK takes down Window. The Vanguard's decimated here from Envy. And this should be a point flip coming on in speedily. There's only so much you can do. And now 100 Thieves are on the board, but Envy have asked potentially just 1 fight away from being in the money match.
And Envy, they have all the time in the world, sort of, to do it. Because relatively, you know, comparatively to 100 Thieves, because they have a lot of time bank to work with. Their ult bank is pretty good here. And for them, the name of the game is, okay, let's get in. Try to find a favorable fight. If we can just force ults, just remove some of the bank here for 100 Thieves, that's still fine for us. We're going to have some recontest opportunities. And if you see a really great opportunity when you've already got something, you know, some picks on the board, even better, you can commit. So now Envy just taking this higher ground, going to be looking for the peak, trying to set up speedily, trying to set up some players just behind, put the pressure on multiple angles.
Meteor M here from Window. Does it hit? No, goes over in an SJP. Just dancing away, Delina now going to the sky. And they're gonna find anything here. Gets Kaluj in his face and knocked out of it. TTK meanwhile into that gets 2. Speedily though. Dance to the Butterfly. Gets 1. Terra taking down Window has kind of made this a little bit more winnable now for 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves up a little bit more on the point. They find Speedily at the end. And have asked, this is setting us up for what could be 1 climactic final fight.
Kaluj gonna go down a little late. Some of those late stagger limbs for 100 Thieves. And TTK, what a great Ibogamoto. I mean, the flexibility coming out here to swap from the Meteor, rather than the Magneto, to go over to the Mirror Kaluj and the Doctor Strange, getting tons and tons of value. But Kaluj holds on to it. Envy, 3 ults on the board, so they're going to have some options for this upcoming fight, but they have to be worried because here's the thing. Okay, you have a strategist ult, great, but guess what? Terra with the last stand. Well, if he goes down, he won't have it. Never mind. What a find there from the duelist for Envy.
Terra getting caught. Envy up 1, and what could be the final fight? The reverse sweep at stake now for 100 Thieves. Can 100 Thieves still make this fight work? Speedily getting poked down, still going into the backline. Look at the pressure on the Delina. Gets mugged by the 2v1 in the back. Envy adding on to their advantage, and 100 Thieves, every ult now being burned as TTK gets 2! What in the world?
Jeremy, thank you for the sub.
That is ridiculous! TTK with 2, Vinny with 1, the Vanguards for 100 Thieves going wild when they need it most! TTK takes out Kaluj! TTK unable to be stopped here on the Strange overtime!
They can't touch!
And the 100 Thieves! The reverse sweep is real! They will go on the fight Shroud X Envy!
Whoa.
They drop it!
Whoa, 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 Avast, what did we just witness without Groot? In a game 5, 100 Thieves wins the final 2 rounds in a domination. Did Envy blow it, or did Thieves just clutch up? Chat is saying they may be the best desperation time team in Rivals Fight Night.
Backs against the wall, they make it happen. And I mean, this is just, to me, the story of a Vanguard line coming alive, right? Of this front line in general for 100 Thieves, where they seem kind of quiet. They're like, okay, Terra, they're doing a ton of deadlifts. We're not seeing much out of Delana, who's obviously been solved, but it's not really that same Delana that we know and love. And then TTK and Vinny just kind of power through there, even you see in the final round, but just in general, you see just the flexibility coming out, the value they're getting on their respective roles. And for 100 Thieves, that is the name of the game for me, is just more so these frontline players, these Vanguards for 100 Thieves, looked incredible by the time the series ended.
While we're sitting at 1,500 viewers, quick reminder, we are just 250 subs away from the Avast Squirrel Girl cosplay. We are getting there. We are nearly at half. We're at 239. We need to get 500 ZP, but I feel like episode 15, we're going to be seeing nuts. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's where we got to go. It's what the people want. It's what the people demand. But my, oh my here, the fact that we had a reverse sweep in such a dramatic fashion, just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Let's take a look at some of the best moments here. And I got to ask, was it Tara? Was it Delana? Who are we giving credit to? Because I feel like without that pick on your Hella, bringing Harvey back into the game, this is all over in 2 rounds of Ast.
For sure, and I do think that overall, I think it's kind of like a game of 2 parts, right? A tale of two series. Because at the beginning, Tara is doing a lot of the work for 100 Thieves, clearly very central to the value that they're getting. But the heating up in general and just allowing this reverse sweep to occur is because the front line, the vanguards for 100 Thieves, like I said, really started getting so much more value, setting up a lot of more picks, getting a lot more just limbs in general, and just denying a lot more value for Envy. So I look at this and I say, like, okay, for me, the hero as we reach the end of the series is probably TTK, Vinny, that front line just in general. But Tara, honestly, without him, they probably would not have made it that far.
Shout out to SJP, some fantastic highlights from our strategist. Don't normally see that. Harvey, phenomenal performance on the Loki. The highlights, though, came from the guy who can play Magic. He can play Wolverine. He can play Winter Soldier. He can bully you no matter where you take him. I have a feeling Tara's going to earn our MVP. We're just compiling all of the best footage. ZP, though, was this the best series we've seen? It's actually TTK. All right, well deserved to the Vanguard player today.
It's got to be TTK. Look, Tara was ridiculous, but the clutch from TTK, especially the final map, in a fight that looked like it was all but over, lands the Eye of Agamotto, picks off 2. I mean, TTK was ridiculous on the latter half of the series, and the story for me was the Vanguard players are Thieves in the end. And to your other question of was this one of the best series we've had? Absolutely! It's a reverse sweep, but both teams looked phenomenal from map to map, and it went to the ultimate round in Marvel Rivals, map 5 on domination. Both teams had a round. It came down to the end, 99-99. It does not get closer than what we just had here tonight.
Incredible play from both sides as it was Envy out to a hot 2-0 start. 100 Thieves learning as they play. They take it the distance, the reverse sweep is in, and now they get the honors of playing Shroud X in our NA championship matchup. Looking at the highlights, though, there were so many great moments. So many different heroes were pulled out. Once again, the Venom came out for a moment from Vinny. Didn't work out as planned. They go back to the tried and true Magneto, Strange. You called this at the start of Ast. And some of these ultimates were the game changers with the Eye of Agamotto, catching people off guard.
They were. I mean, TTK just always been obviously a very standout Magneto player, but making the swap over here towards the Strange and looking really good into Kaluj, who's been kind of like a lot of people like, oh, Kaluj, like one of the best Strange players in North America, and no slouch for TTK because look at the final hits, 14. Obviously a lot of setup, right? And also an incredible amount of damage too. A lot of
same
setup.
Damage block as Kaluj.
Sure to remove
You're looking at what, 10,000 more damage dealt and 8 more final blows. That's a standout performance.
It is, and they're removing the regeneration domains as well. They're making sure to just pick those off for a month. But TTK just remained a very, very central part for why I think, and especially towards the end of the series, it warmed up. I mean, you look at these 2 rosters in general, and you see kind of the parity and the fun parts across the board. I mean, they have to be saying to each other, what are we, some sort of Marvel Rivals, perhaps? Like at the end of this one, after the map 5 reverse sweep?
Yo, I'm so excited for you guys on Saturday. Once again, ZP, you guys are going to be casting a phenomenal show. It's going to be called the Shroud Gauntlet. It's going to be put on by some of our people doing the production here unofficially. We don't know if either of these 2 teams are there, but we do know that our champion, Shroud X, is going to be there. What's going to happen once we go into this new band system where I can't keep playing the same characters? Is this where Tara is truly going to shine and we're going to see like the true test of our strategists? What do you expect to see come Saturday?
I expect to see great things is where it's at. I think it's going to be unpredictable. It's going to be fun. And more than anything else, you're going to get some variety and just a stacked day of Marvel Rivals action. So yeah, I mean, this right now, this is the appetizer and we are eating good, but the best meals are still yet to come. It's a great week to be watching some Marvel Rivals.
It's been a hell of a long show already, ladies and gentlemen, and we are just getting started. This is not 8:30 p.m. We're almost at 10 p.m. and Shroud X is ready to party against 100 Thieves. Reminder, the Shroud Gauntlet going down May 17th. Check out Shroud's Twitch for more information. In the meantime, Kaluj learning the new heights and floors of the Eye of Agamotto. So close, buddy. Just out of reach. Oh, that's the one that he nailed? I thought you were showing the one he didn't hit. That was the huge one.